Well, well, well. Look who decided to show up to work today. We got texts early in the morning, well, not really early in the morning, about halfway through the morning when people would start to typically arrive at work that food poisoning had struck down our dear friend and colleague, Lucas Panzica, who joins us in studio today. 615-737-1045 is the number. And yet, Robert, I enjoy my Tuesday nights off. You enjoy your Tuesday nights off. I'm doom scrolling on the internet for no particular reason. I see a Nashville SC promo that's got Lucas featured in the middle of it. For some reason, he's in the side production studio acting as if he's calling a Nashville SC game. I thought that was quite funny. But I said, you know what? I'll post that. That's good promo for Lucas. I think he erred in not having the team collab with him on Instagram so that he could grow his social profile, but I'm not going to nitpick. I'll just repost it and support our teammate. And then I scroll further, and I get to Lucas's Instagram story, and I see a team photo. Not a Nashville SC team photo, not like him as a part of the broadcast team. I assume if Nashville SC wins something, he gets a ring as a part of the broadcast team. But I see a beer league soccer team photo, of which it appears that Lucas Panzica participated in a championship game last night, despite telling you and I that he was on his deathbed. How am I to handle this morning?
I think you would handle it the way any red-blooded American would handle it. Lucas had his Michael Jordan flu game yesterday. In the face of adversity, when other men would have said, "Oh, no, my tummy hurt," Lucas put his body on the line. He went out there to the pitch, and he said, I'm going to slide, I'm going to kick, I'm going to do some Pelés, and I am going to be the reason that my team wins this beer league.
Were you, in fact, the reason that your team won?
You couldn't dream of these levels of grit and perseverance.
What body part on you is ailing today, given your latest intramural soccer appearance?
I feel like
you
$1
were here
million.
before I got here, so I didn't see you hobbling about.
I feel fantastic. I woke up yesterday hugging a toilet, and I went to bed a champion. A Mid-State Sports Tuesday Men's 6v6 E Division champion. You couldn't fathom the sacrifice to show up, pull myself out of my house, wipe the sweat off my brow, and barely contribute to a championship.
How much playing time did you actually get yesterday?
I mean, we got to cycle through, man. We're all like out of shape, late 20, 30, early 30s guys. Like it's 6v6. We got like 3 subs, and we're out there for about 10 minutes a pop. Like, all right, help me out. It's like hockey subs. You just one runs on, off, one runs on. But I feel like $1 million. I feel like a champion today. I was down pretty bad yesterday morning. But I was starting to see the light of day by around 1 o'clock, coincidentally, the end of the show.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
He said, around noon, I probably could have came in in the last hour.
It's a shame the show's not later, or I would have been
sending stuff to the Twitter group as if he's actively participating.
I'm in my bed.
In show prep yesterday. So you just didn't want to come to work yesterday.
No, I don't know.
Because the grit required for you to get your fat ass out of bed and show up to work.
Look, I don't know what
was not sufficient enough. But, if it's rec league soccer with pride and nothing else on the line, by God.
Shout out to the boys at 14 Beers at Chili's. Can't wait to celebrate. It was well-deserved. It was well-earned. Never mind the fact that the only reason that we skipped over the play-in game and got to go automatically to the semifinals was because we had an opponent no-show during the year, which gives you a 7-0 forfeit win, so that goal differential helped us escape the play-in game where we usually lose.
Oh, so it was a sham.
No, this was real. 3-1 the final last night.
You told me multiple times your team sucks.
But not last night we didn't. Not last night. We stepped up when it mattered most. And you two are next, by the way. Whatever Slay laced those delicious Biscoff cookies with.
How about that?
That's in your system.
Ron Slay texted us yesterday. I don't know if he's brought the fight to 3HL. But he texted us yesterday saying 1 rat down, 2 to go. Like he's out here poisoning the Biscoff cookie.
That's exactly
it's a trap.
What he's doing. I listened to 3HO yesterday. I want you to look in the corner over there of the room where the Biscoff cookie sat. Yeah. There is now a container of fudge stripes and a choose-your-own-adventure bag of Hershey's. There is a note on that Hershey's bag.
Oh,
Lucas,
my God.
will you go pick up the note that is on that Hershey's bag? Or can you read it from there?
I could read it. It says, Buck and Bert, dig in.
You could not pay me to eat those chocolates.
That's not true. You're going to eat
I will probably go in there and risk it for the biscuit.
My problem is I'll forget. I'll just ignore the note on there and I'll, allegedly, although apparently you are also on video too, there is no evidence that I ate anything.
No, that was AI. Lucas, okay, what happened was Lucas was in here.
George Pickens, that was AI.
Diligently working away later than he was supposed to be here, but that's the kind of guy Lucas is.
That's right.
And Slay came in and said, hey, I'm going to get your ass. And he said, no, it wasn't just me. And I was on the phone with Lucas at the time.
That's right. Robert was on the phone, and I said, let me show you.
When you took him out.
We're all out here exposing each other.
He pulled up the live stream and is like, what is he shoving into his gullet?
That's right, because if I'm going down, you're all going down with me.
Listen, that was AI. I never touched those cookies. Nobody can prove otherwise. Unless you go look at the YouTube live stream, which I'm about to go delete right now.
The culture that we have created on this show is one of fear-mongering, sabotage, and betrayal.
Before we go any deeper into things that actually matter, Lucas, yesterday...
what really matters more than this today? Am I going to talk about Titans and Colts?
There's a pretty big game on West End this weekend.
Well, that actually matters.
And there's a panic mode happening in Knoxville right now.
Well, that's fair, too.
I pitched something yesterday for Hattie B's, and someone in the chat brings it up. Did we make any headway on the Hattie B's white hot chicken chili? Doesn't that sound incredible to you?
We should put our head... Do you want to do that Saturday?
What?
Do you want to celebrate my birthday by making our own, Hattie B's
so we would
chicken chili?
Oh, now he cares about his birthday when there's the potential of you making him food involved.
Well, I'll contribute. I've got an Instant Pot.
Do you have an apron?
I don't have an apron.
You don't have an apron?
Oh, actually, no, I've got an apron lying around.
Why do you have an apron? You spend 90% of your existence naked.
Well, because I would cook naked and
with an apron on.
Grease splatters, without the apron. So Cheyenne had to get me an apron to protect my pieces and giblets from getting bacon grease and hot boiling water splattered about on my lower region.
I just imagine Robert serving Cheyenne breakfast in bed with nothing but an apron on.
I think she would be grateful if he just had the apron on, as opposed to the way that she probably is receiving breakfast in bed.
I actually got caught by our neighbor. So I was cooking in the apron, but it's like a hospital gown. On the back, you can just see straight Frosty the Snowman cheeks. So I go outside to smoke my government-mandated shift break cigarette while I'm cooking, and I turn around, and I just hear a woman go, It's my old neighbor, Gladys, and she's picking up around her
name
yard.
Is not Gladys.
Gladys is so great.
Very sweet woman. I doubt she listens to sport radio, but Gladys, I'm so sorry you had to see those shiny white snow globe cheeks of mine. She was like, oh my God, are you naked? And I turned around and I was like, no, I'm totally clothed. She saw it from the back.
Oh, Gladys.
And I was upset about it. So now every time I go outside, I have to go, is anyone here? Is there anyone here? I'm about to smoke a cigarette in the buff.
See, it's one thing to walk around your home naked. It's another thing to walk around because you live in a very, your neighborhood is not.
I have a privacy fence. No. I have a privacy fence. I have a privacy fence. I can't help that my house is on a
half
slope.
Of your yard.
I understand that. That's because they live on the hill. I live at the bottom of it. I can't help that. What am I supposed to have, an iron dome to protect from my nudeness? What am I supposed to do?
It's not to protect you. It's to protect the rest of us.
Be that as it may.
I'm serious. We should pick up some grilled chicken from Hattie B's this weekend.
Can you get the grilled chicken hot?
Oh, yeah. You can get it whatever you want.
I feel like the hot is what would make the white chicken chili.
No, you can get
hot
any
chicken chili.
level of spice on the grilled chicken because I get the medium, but I get grilled tenders.
We should do that. We should do that.
I'm not opposed. I am not opposed. We'll have to start early, though.
It's chili season.
Are you going to tailgate with your white hot chicken chili and then potentially camp out for game day on West End?
No.
I mean, if you know what, we can poke around. We can see if there's a good.
He's not going to go.
We might just be on West End.
He just wants Vanderbilt fans to think that he cares about them. When in the meantime, he'd much rather talk about Vitello Gate than what's going on with Vanderbilt hosting Missouri this weekend. So why don't we do that? Because that is an actual story that's developed. Well, Has it developed at all? There's nothing happening, and people are freaking out the more that time passes. Tony Vitello has at least entertained the opportunity to be the next manager of the San Francisco Giants. He has not yet taken the job. There are stakeouts being done at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. We'll talk about it coming up next. Unlike the leaves of fall, our money does not grow on trees. That's why you need Trajan Wealth to be able to maximize your investments and protect your investments on what you already have to plan for the next phase of life where it comes to retirement or to just develop your wealth management strategies. That's what Trajan Wealth helps all of their clients do, to give them options that make the most sense for the individual. Whether it is retirement planning that you're considering, or those wealth management strategies, or tactical investments to help you grow your wealth in meaningful ways, Trajan Wealth will explore a variety of different options, present those to you, and make sure that you are equipped to succeed. They've got 2 locations here at Trajan Wealth, or here in Middle Tennessee, in Brentwood and Franklin. The website is TrajanWealth.com. That's TrajanWealth.com for more information to understand all the different avenues that they can give you to help expand your financial independence. TrajanWealth.com for more details. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So do you still have a baseball coach? I asked you this Monday when last we saw you before you decided to bail on us to spend all day in bed and then go win an intramural rec league, beer league, soccer championship, of which apparently you just advanced because people didn't show up.
Feels good.
Uh-huh. So, how are you feeling, I guess, around the situation with your baseball team? Because Tony Vitello, I'm not going to say that he's outright Tennessee baseball, like that Tony Vitello is Tennessee baseball, but he's kind of a huge representation of it for the fan base, beyond just being a national champion and bringing further esteem and glory to an athletic department that's chasing championships.
Tony Vitello has brought an aura to Tennessee baseball that it has never had. And it's had good teams.
Yeah.
It's had good players. But in terms of sustained success, nothing that even remotely touches what Tony has done. Not to mention the personal side of things and how fans have just totally attached themselves to him.
So we're on 72 hours, maybe more.
A Saturday this news came down.
At this point in time, since Ken Rosenthal first mentioned that the San Francisco Giants were going to close in or were closing in on hiring Tony Vitello as the club's new manager. The predecessor for the Giants was 81-81. That wasn't good enough for Buster Posey, who is currently running the Giants organization or who is running the operations side of the Giants franchise. And Vitello is viewed as somebody who is exceptional. Obviously, he's exceptional. But that he would be a college manager who just gets plucked out of the college game with no professional baseball experience to go coach in the major leagues would be literally unprecedented. But he hasn't done it yet. And that's a difficult balance to weigh. He's already the highest paid coach in college baseball at currently $3 million a year. We had callers yesterday, Lucas, saying that their oh no was Vols fans who were actively antagonizing Danny White for not coming up with a sufficient enough plan or a fast enough plan to make sure that Vitello stayed, as if Danny White's not doing everything in his power.
What's happening right now? Every second that Tony Vitello is not officially named the manager of the San Francisco Giants is a good thing for Tennessee. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No.
News breaks down, they're closing in on Tony Vitello, and then just all quiet, and he's out there leading a practice with fans in attendance.
Quite. He's showing up at golf tournaments on Monday morning. He's participating in scrimmages for Tennessee baseball. He's giving thumbs up to the fans. People are tracking him down. Mike Wilson is staked out outside of Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
Several people are staked out.
I assume he's just got a little pop-up tent and a heater out there that he's making his coffee over a fire in the morning as he awaits Tony Vitello to show up and deliver them some form of news at this point in time.
We've got Vols fans turning their Twitter accounts into like San Francisco Giant fan Twitter accounts.
Yeah, I saw that.
And there's this hashtag going around, hashtag hell no Vitello, pretending to be Giants fans that are trying to create a social media revolt against the hire of Tony Vitello to keep him in Knoxville. Like, this is reached
genius.
Insane levels of crazy, levels that felt unfathomable for Tennessee baseball not very long ago. A program that was lifeless, was dead in the water in the Dave Serrano years. It's crazy that in the middle of football season, this is what's dominating the discussion right now.
As to the fake Giants fans accounts that are actually Vols fans who are changing their profile pictures to, pictures of Giants players and them in Giant, like AI created images of them in Giants gear. For example, one such post is a picture of Tony Vitello and Morgan Wallen, who's obviously a big time Tennessee Vols fan, being like, look at Tony Vitello associating with known racist Morgan Wallen. We can't have him in the Bay Area. Hell no, Vitello.
They're like, we don't want this classless individual.
It is genius. It is diabolical. It is, again, the insanity and the passion of Vols fans.
Okay, but see, this is the attitude I hate. And I love you, Harold Hockett, for always being in the FNM Bank chat. But he on YouTube says, why can't we have nice things? Talking about Vols fans. You have the definition of a nice thing.
He won a championship.
You have a baseball coach that won you a national championship and is being pursued by a Major League Baseball organization, something in a way that has literally never happened before. This is all happening because you have a very nice thing. And to say that before we even have a resolution on it is the definition of BVS. Again, every moment that passes that he's not the coach of the Giants is a good thing for Tennessee. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I think we're going to learn something as of today. I think we might learn something before the show ends today.
Based on what?
Based on things. Eric Kane of VolQuest yesterday reported, and I think Eric will join us tomorrow, and said Tony met with the team after the scrimmage today and said he doesn't know what he's going to do. Communicated that to the team.
Okay.
This was yesterday. So clearly there's still a decision to be made, Eric says, and he has not informed his team or anybody at the university that he is leaving yet.
What's the average salary for a manager in Major League Baseball right now? Because, like, they have as little, like, they are the most, or let me rephrase, baseball managers are the least involved or least impactful of a head coach position in any major sport, right? Like basketball, you've got 5 guys out there. If you have a super freak athlete, you can just kind of let them play. Obviously, you need to have a plan. You need to have plays. You need to have calls to be able to run. But basketball, it's mostly on the players. Football, obviously, I would argue that the head coach is most intricately involved in the game planning, the process, if he's calling plays, if he's not calling plays. Either way, it's a very involved job. Like baseball managers don't even set their own lineups anymore. Front offices do that.
Shall we hear the Google AI answer for the average salary for an MLB manager?
I mean, famously, Google AI is stupid.
Always accurate, famously. It says that it varies from a low of about $1 million to, for some, the highest earners making over $8 million.
So Tony's making $3 million. If Danny White came back and said, we'll double it, that would be tough to... It just depends on what, like, how much of Tony Vitello's career at this point is going to be based on taking on new challenges, right? Like, that's the thing I really don't know about him.
What does he want out of his career?
What does he want out of his career? He can do the thing that I think many of us would be content to do is I've won a natty. I'll try to win another one. I've got resources. I've got support. I've got facilities. I have brand equity now. I mean, who's a more famous figure right now in college baseball than Tony Vitello? He's certainly up there.
Yeah, most polarizing as well.
Either way.
Yeah,
like, people
he creates
know
discussion.
who that person is, regardless of whether you're a college baseball fan or not. You know who the captain or the skipper of the Tennessee baseball program is. I have no idea how to answer that question. He did an interview with Greg Olson. I don't know how dated it is, but it was about just kind of life and his life after winning a championship. I don't know if Olson's got a podcast or something like that, but it was Greg Olson interviewing Tony Vitello. And even then, you have a hard time getting a sense of what that person's... I mean, he's obviously competitive, right? He's obviously highly competitive, but is that level of competitiveness satisfied by competing at the highest levels in his sport where he knows he can dominate, he has dominated, and he can continue to do so? Or is the challenge of Major League Baseball so enticing? And it's not like he's going to the Pirates, right? The Pirates are a mess. There are bad, just as there are bad organizations everywhere in professional sports. The Giants are a largely stable, well-run organization, you know, to hear baseball people talk about it. So it's not like it's a bad job that's come open here.
What's interesting, too, is from Tennessee's perspective, from an investment perspective, what could this mean for baseball? On one hand, if you're keeping Tony Vitello, it probably means he's getting a raise. You're already putting a lot of money into baseball, a sport that traditionally is not a revenue generator for an athletics department. We could probably count on, 2 hands, the amount of baseball programs across the country that legitimately make money for their respective university. Tennessee's already kind of pushing the chips in when they're renovating Lindsey Nelson Stadium and they're giving Tony Vitello every single tool he needs for success. If Tony V is to leave and take that gravitas that he's brought to Tennessee baseball with him, Would it be more likely that Tennessee would peel back and put that money into other things, other revenue-generating sports, or would it be more likely that Tennessee would continue to push forward? And Danny White says, okay, I'm going to go get the best coach there is then. If I can't have Tony, I'm going to go get the next best thing. I think the latter is what's more likely, but in this revenue-sharing era...
But that's a Danny White thing versus a fan base thing. Like, what do Vols fans want?
There's a lot of Vols fans that have... Tennessee baseball has brought them so much excitement as they're still coming out of a period where Tennessee athletics was so down. And obviously the baseball program is the best program on campus. He's the best coach on campus. They won a national championship. Yeah. But there's also a lot of Tennessee fans, of many that I am friends with, that would send the baseball program into the sun if it meant one SEC championship for the football team.
I can relate.
So, yeah, for Indiana basketball versus football.
I love Kurt Signetti. I think it's cool what he's doing. I don't care at all if it means I could trade the football team in for a winning basketball season, I would do it.
Which is crazy. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. So from a revenue sharing standpoint, more money into baseball from that pool means less money for other sports. It's just such an interesting tug of war that is happening within every athletic department now, where coaches are kind of, climbing on top of each other for more. Everybody wants more, right? And it's especially difficult when you have a situation where generally across the board, football's in a good place at Tennessee. Men's basketball, women's basketball feels like it's in a really good place, a rising place.
A better place than it's been in a while.
Absolutely. Baseball is obviously in a fantastic place. The softball program was just in the Final Four, pretty much, of the Women's College World Series. Women's soccer has had a fantastic season, just across the board. Divvying that up is a difficult thing. And there's universities, Georgia is the one that always comes to us, the best example, that says, no, we're going to be good at football. That's all we actually care about. That's where we're going to put the money. So I don't know how this impacts the way Tennessee moves forward with baseball and where they kind of hold it up when it comes to revenue sharing and all of these things in this new era will be very fascinating.
But the other part of this is, and this is kind of the atmosphere that revenue sharing has created. We're going to get back to under the table deals, right? We're going to have programs and coaches. If you interviewed, let's just say basketball, because basketball is the one. Basketball is going to take a backseat to football in the vast majority of college athletic departments around the country, with a few exceptions. If you asked 100 basketball coaches, hey, are you going to do things by the book this year where football's getting the vast majority of your resources and your revenue sharing? How many basketball coaches are going to look around and be like, no? Are you kidding me? We need to be able to compete here. We need to find ways to get around this situation. I think that you've created, again, there's no perfect solution to what the current state of collegiate athletics are. But I do think that the revenue sharing model, while it does accomplish some goals and does put, for lack of a better term, a soft cap on what each individual institution can spend, I do think that you're going to end up in a situation where Will Wade is making strong-ass offers, but he's having to do them under the table as opposed to based on the allocation of resources that he's getting.
Well, why? Those are legal now. You can still do NIL deals. I don't understand what... you can still
But NIL deals are also more difficult to get through. They have now tamped down on NIL deals in a way where it's not as wild west as it was or as it has been in the last couple of years. There are things here that are going to be difficult to navigate. And again, who is executing the NIL deals, right? They have to go through a clearinghouse. Who is prioritizing the NIL deals for the basketball player versus the star quarterback and things like that? Because there's only so many resources that these businesses have to go around unless, it's like, which billboard is Pavia on right now? What's the lawyer, John, it's going to drive me crazy. Morgan & Morgan. He's on a giant Morgan & Morgan billboard in the middle of downtown. I drive by it on my way home every day from where we do the show in Midtown. I am fascinated to see what the next steps are because in the same way where we feel like we've put some level of guardrails on this thing, it feels like it's just going to create more problems.
I'm skeptical that the guardrails that are being put up or the clearinghouse will actually, put up any limitations But, yeah, I guess I could see where you're coming from in terms of just cutting out the middleman in some cases. But it's just not as much of an issue now. Players can get paid. The revenue sharing is simply what is coming from the university, how the university is allocating. And that a lot of that goes into facilities. Who gets what brand new facility? If the women's basketball program and the softball program or the baseball program desperately needs a new training center or upgrades to their arena or stadium or what have you, then how does that get divvied up in revenue sharing? These are conversations that all athletic departments are having across the country. The player pay side of it comes a little bit from revenue sharing, but the vast majority of that comes from NIL in terms of what the players are getting in their pocket.
There are people in the FNM Bank chat, Joe Blacko, which is a funny name, Demario Patterson, who are stunned by my position that I would trade at the number 2 football team in the country for a winning basketball season. But I feel like that's something that Tennessee fans can identify with, not the basketball part of it, but sell the other athletic programs down the river just to get to an SEC championship game for Tennessee.
I think Indiana fans might have to start shifting their mentality and realize football is
it's never going to matter.
Competent program on campus.
Without question, it's the most competent program.
You want
on
a championship?
Campus.
That's your best shot right now. It seems like.
Well, but it's not about a if Indiana football won a championship, it would be cool. I would not care even 1/10 of the way that I would care if Indiana basketball finally got back to the place where it belongs, in the same way that Tennessee football is striving for damn near 2 decades at this point in time, 3 decades since the last national championship almost, to get back to blue blood, pedigree, top of the food chain, college football program. Basketball used to be that for Indiana University. It's a sad sham of a program at this point in time, and all of a sudden football just magically appears in the middle of all this, and you find this wizard of a coach from James Madison, where I'm spending my time watching Archie Dam Miller sputter about out there and Mike Woodson shuffle around and forget to go through the handshake line because he's a senile old man. I don't understand. I think every university, every college sports fan has one program that they would prioritize over all others. I think it's very specific. Duke has national championships, right? Would Duke sports fans care if Duke football won a natty? In the same way that they would care about
because that would be a remarkable,
it would be outrageous, of course. Yeah, maybe that's a bad example.
Manny Diaz doing a nice job over there. I wonder if he's a name that's up for the Penn State job.
The Penn State job.
Yeah, was former defensive coordinator there.
It's just, it's insane. It's insane to have the kind of resources that Indiana does or that Tennessee does, and to be able to, and not be able to fix the one thing that you want fixed, right? You can get the baseball thing, and the baseball thing kind of happens because you get the right coach. The coach has juice. He creates a program. I don't want to say organically, because obviously, to your point, Tennessee baseball has had previous success before Tony Vitello got there, but he basically brought that program back from scratch.
Yeah, well, he established it in a way it's never been established. Tennessee baseball has had runs. They've had runs to the College World Series, and Todd Helton and Chris Burke. They've had just legends come through that went on to have great careers, Hall of Fame careers in Major League Baseball. But the sustained success, nothing even close to what Tony's established, and really got it rolling in, say, 2019, 2020 is when Tennessee started to get into postseasons and make noise that way and compete in the SEC. So to the level that they've done it at, too, nothing close to what Tony's done. So I expect Danny to do everything. If Tony Vitello takes the San Francisco job, it will not be because Tennessee didn't make every effort to keep him on campus.
615-737-1045 is how you join the conversation. What would you do if you're Tony Vitello? I think that's an interesting question for the audience.
Ooh, man.
I'd take the job. I'd take the Giants job. It's not like you can't always have the memories of being a champion at Tennessee. Hell, if Tennessee baseball tanks after Tony Vitello's gone and it doesn't work out in San Francisco, who's to say you can't reunite at some point down the road? He's going to have college baseball job options. We talked about this on Monday. If he goes to the pros and it doesn't work, he is going to have, I would imagine, his pick of any available job that's open.
He'll be the hottest coach for any baseball program that has an opening.
And if he gets fired, he will have buyout money. He won't have to jump back He won't have to jump in right away. He can be more selective in what his next job is. Again, it would be unfortunate for Vols fans to lose that quality of a coach because he may not come back should he go to the pros and it not work out. And the Tennessee job, whatever happens there, there may be more attractive openings at that point in time. He was at Arkansas.
He was assistant under Dave Van Horn at Arkansas.
So, there will be different emotional ties, different career connections, and things like that will be discussed. Again, in this hypothetical world where he goes to the pros, and maybe it doesn't work. Maybe he goes to the pros and he has great success. I have no idea.
But the fact that the news came down Saturday and we're sitting here talking about it Wednesday.
That's a good sign for Tennessee.
There's a pull there for Tony. Because if San Francisco was swooping in, you would imagine that the offer was pretty good to get Tony Vitello out of college baseball. So it's the emotional ties that we don't talk about, the home that he's made for himself in Knoxville and in that community, the proximity to family, right? If I'm not mistaken, his family, his father, they still live in St. Louis, I believe. All of these things that we throw out of the window, right? When we're talking about a certain guy that he'd be crazy not to take that job, but we don't think about these things, about their life, their current situation in life, and their general happiness. Clearly, there is a pull there that Tony, it feels like he's grappling with this. Eric Kane literally said he told the team yesterday he doesn't know what he's going to do. Clearly, there's a back and forth, a tug of war that Tony is having here, and I don't blame him. This is quite a crossroads to make history and go to the pros and I'm sure fulfill a lifelong dream, or continue where he's obviously happy and has everything he could possibly need and having a ton of success.
Yeah, but somebody points out in the chat that he doesn't have a Shohei Ohtani on the Giants roster, so that would be a tough thing to compete with on a regular basis when you're finding ways to win in college baseball. He's a really unique situation anyway because he doesn't have the normal connections or normal things that I don't want to say tie him down necessarily, but he doesn't have, he has a family. He doesn't have his own family. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have kids. It's a non-traditional situation that Tony Vitello is in, which allows him the freedom to think about these things independently and not have to consider other factors that would make it a more difficult choice. 615-737-1045 is how you join the conversation. We need to talk about Vanderbilt. We have not done justice to Vanderbilt, so we will spend the majority of SEC observations talking about them coming up next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if someone is just trying to sell you something. That's when you call a Hiller. Their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family-owned and operated. The techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and they're all background checked and drug screened. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. No more wasting time waiting around. 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be or the service is free. That is the Happy Hiller promise at Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Book online today at happyhiller.com.
So here we are in the back half of the college football season. It's obviously still spooky season, and we're approaching the month of November. And in a college football weekend where LSU is playing Texas A&M under the lights in Death Valley, where Ole Miss is playing Oklahoma, where Alabama is playing South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky renew their rivalry, all of these things, who would have thought that topping the marquee would be Vanderbilt and Missouri at First Bank Stadium on Saturday? That's where College Game Day is going to be. This is a top 15 matchup. You can make an argument that Ole Miss, Oklahoma is the bigger game between two contending teams because there still is an element of prove it for Missouri and Vanderbilt to show us that you are a legitimate contender. Now, to be fair, Oklahoma and Ole Miss have that as well, but we're still getting used to this with Vandy. And to a degree with Missouri, although at this point, this is 3 years running now that Eli Drinkwitz has his team on the cusp of the college football playoff discussion. Vanderbilt, 2.5-point favorites at home, 2:30 kickoff on ESPN. This is a matchup of two of the top three scoring offenses in the SEC, two of the top three rushing attacks in the SEC, and two quarterbacks in Diego Pavia and Bo Pribula that have some of the best off-schedule ability in the entire conference. This has all the makings of an absolute barn burner, of a classic, just going blow for blow. But there's been some games that have set up that way. I thought Tennessee-Alabama was set up that way a little bit last weekend. Tennessee obviously shooting itself in the foot. I will say I feel like, and this is me talking about me, we've talked way too much about the bad things Tennessee did and not enough about how good Alabama is. Alabama looks like a juggernaut again. Alabama looks like a national championship contender. Ty Simpson looks like he should be the favorite for the Heisman. I think they're the best team in the SEC.
Just based off last week?
No, based off, what is it now, 4 or 5 straight wins over ranked teams. And the way that they're doing it, how surgical Simpson has been, how he doesn't make mistakes, how they have, if not for Ohio State, would have the best wide receiver core in the country.
Yeah.
Just the way they've responded from week one. No, Alabama looks like the team that we thought that they would be all season.
Because I didn't come away from that Tennessee game feeling like, as we talked about, there was an appreciable gap between those two teams. I just feel like Tennessee kind of peed down their leg a little bit.
Yeah, there's just not a ton of gaps, across high-level programs anymore like there used to be. And we're finally getting into a place now where that is really the case when Tennessee plays Georgia, when Tennessee plays Bama. But I just wanted to say that because I feel like the last couple of days we've just talked about how Tennessee lost that game. And they did a lot of things to help lose that game, sure. But Alabama won that game, and they were deserved winners, and they should be talked about as a national title contender like they were in the preseason. Back to Vanderbilt. Over under 52.5 in this game.
Oh, are you asking me? I would probably bet the under. 52.5 is a tough one, and you understand, but I just think that they're going to try and muck this up if you're Vandy. Like, understanding that they can run the football, or Missouri can run the football. I just can't imagine that it would turn into a shootout type of situation. Although, I've said that before about Vanderbilt, and they come out with a reasonable passing game. They get defensive stops, and they can turn things around on an opponent pretty quickly. I'll probably take the under, though. It's the same over-under as Indiana-UCLA, which looks like a much tougher game today than it did a couple of weeks ago, although Indiana is favored by 25.5.
The resurgent Bruins headed to Bloomington. Clearly, nobody walks out of Memorial Stadium in Bloomington.
That's how what the stadium's
unscathed. Called. Yeah, there's a lot of Memorial Stadiums. Oklahoma plays in a Memorial Stadium. Hell, I did a high school football game last Friday in a Memorial Stadium at Hendersonville. But so Mizzou Vandy kind of tops the marquee. Ole Miss Oklahoma is a massive game as well, and both of those games have something in common, where the loser of Ole Miss versus Oklahoma in Norman at Memorial Stadium, and the loser of Vanderbilt, Missouri at First Bank Stadium no longer has any room for error down the stretch. You got to go undefeated to make the playoffs. So for Vanderbilt, you get this win, assuming that you take care of business against those teams that you're going to be favored against greatly. You find yourself in a place where you have to beat one of Texas or Tennessee. You can drop one of those games and still feel really good about your chances to make the playoff. Because right now, Vanderbilt's resume is pretty damn good. That win over LSU, they have a quality loss against Alabama. I mean, they've done something that Tennessee hasn't done this year, and that's beat a ranked opponent. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, Tennessee has not beaten an opponent that's currently in the top 25.
I'll stop treating Vanderbilt like it's just this novelty type of situation. I almost feel like Nick Saban, who refuses to pick Vanderbilt because he just can't wrap his head around the idea that Vanderbilt's competitive in the SEC. Not even competitive, but at times dominant. It's weird.
They were pretty physically dominant against LSU. That makes me... I want to say that makes me think they can be pretty physically dominant against Missouri. But again, that's me going back to that thinking. That assumption that we just need to start throwing away at some point. The assumption that LSU is better up front than Vanderbilt, that LSU is better up front than Missouri. That wasn't the case a couple of weeks ago when LSU and Vandy played in Nashville. So why should it be the case that just because Vanderbilt was able to push LSU around, they're going to be able to push around Missouri, who's been really good in the trenches all year long and have one of the best running backs in the country right now in Ahmad Hardy? So I think this game is going to be explosive. I think there's going to be points all over the place. I don't know that you have to muck it up. Why do you have to muck it up if you're Vanderbilt?
Well, you don't have to, but I'm just looking at the way that these two teams play, right? It's ball control, essentially. Like, they are going to find ways to move the football, but they're not going to do it necessarily with explosive plays down the field. It's not going to be quick strike offense. It's going to be grinded out, tougher than you, and I think both teams do that pretty well in the trenches. So I'm not necessarily saying you have to muck it up. I just think that this would be a low-scoring kind of grind of a game based on the way that these two teams want to play. And, it's not to say there will be no explosive plays whatsoever. Yeah. Missouri's got the 16th best scoring defense in college football right now, 16.7 points per game. Vandy is at 33, tied at 33 with 20 points per game.
Yeah, I think Missouri has they've been helped with that number by the way they've shut down their lesser opponents, the Central Arkansas and Louisiana Lafayettes and UMasses of the world. They did hold Auburn to 17 points in an overtime road win, but Auburn's offense has been a struggle all year long. But they gave up 31 against Kansas at home. They gave up 27 against Alabama at home. I think this is going to be a shootout kind of game. And to your point, yeah, it could definitely come down. I think it comes down to who's better in the red zone. And Missouri's been better in the red zone than Vanderbilt all season. But that, to me, is the deciding factor. And what happened in the red zone for Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago against Alabama? They had a couple turnovers that led to Alabama points that essentially lost them that game.
Yeah.
So red zone offense, for me, the big deciding factor in this game. Should be a great environment out there. This has got to be, I did not look this up, it's got to be the first time College Game Day's been to 2 Vandy games in one season.
That is insane.
It's got to be.
Yeah. Robert, can I hear from Missouri coach Eli Drinkwitz on the idea of traveling to Vandy, hostile Memorial Stadium, in a College Game Day type of atmosphere?
College Game Day is coming to a Mizzou game for the first time in 11 years. They've only covered Mizzou 6 times. I'm curious, does that amplify the stage itself at all, or does that change anything in preparation or make the game even bigger?
Is it in First Bank Stadium?
I'm not sure where it is this week.
Doesn't affect anything then for us. We're the road team. So we'll show up, we'll go to the visitors' locker room, we'll walk out on the field and play the game. Whatever else they got for their fans there is up to them, but it doesn't affect us. I don't even think they want to talk to us.
How does the reporter not know where the game is?
No, that was my whole point.
No. I think he's asking where game day is going to be set up, I think is where Drink was asking the reporter.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Like, will it be on campus, in the stadium, which sometimes they do? Will it be across the street in Centennial Park? I don't know, actually. I'm not sure where it's going to be set up.
I just sounded like the reporter was asking. I'm not sure where the game's going to be.
Maybe they'll interview Clark Lee on the Taylor Swift bench that Robert and I visited the other day.
I was
Swift
thinking
bench?
At the Parthenon. Like, there's that big open green grass. Like, put the stage
lovely,
there.
yeah.
You could put the people behind it. Like, that makes the most sense. But, yes, Taylor Swift has a bench that was donated to her for her to have a place to sit. I thought she donated it to the park. But, no, they don't. What's it called when you give somebody something honorally?
Honorably?
I don't know.
Honorably.
You
Like,
mean,
here, I'm
like
gonna give you
honor
this-
somebody with something?
Honorably, whatever the word is.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're
And
trying to
to
get across.
honor her.
Also, I just realized I called First Bank Stadium Memorial Stadium. Slip of the tongue.
There's a lot of Memorial Stadiums.
Well, there's a Memorial Gym there, too. That's the whole thing.
Wyatt Lawn. Okay. It'll be on Wyatt Lawn, which is right on campus.
Okay, nice.
So not at the Parthenon.
Not at the Parthenon.
Well, that's dumb.
615-737-1045. Do I have things to give away?
You have Daughtry and Seether tickets to give away
Yeah.
for this Friday.
Only can you win those tickets if you call in and give us the dumbest thing in sports this week. 615-737-1045 is the number. That is how you participate. You have the opportunity to win those 2 tickets if you give us the dumbest thing in sports.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
.02, good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Predators' 5-game homestand started with a 5-2 loss to the Ducks on Tuesday. That marks a 4th straight loss. The Preds host the Canucks tomorrow at Bridgestone Arena. The Titans head up to Indy to face the Colts, an AFC South matchup this weekend. First injury report of the week comes out this afternoon. Interim coach Mike McCoy meets with the media at 11:50. In Knoxville, Tony Vitello watch continues as several Tennessee fans were on hand during a scrimmage at Lindsey Nelson Stadium yesterday. Still no finality on the reports that the San Francisco Giants are closing in on Vitello as their next manager. The NBA season is tipping off, and the Memphis Grizzlies open their season tonight against the Pelicans at FedEx Forum, tip-off at 7 p.m. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Six 615-737-1045 for the opportunity to win tickets to see Seether and Daughtry What's the dumbest thing in sports this week? The dumbest thing in sports this week is something that the two of you saw on Sunday that I didn't see until yesterday, and that was the Broncos' comeback against the New York Giants. That is the dumbest football game I think I have ever watched. That's the dumbest fourth quarter I think I've ever watched, not just because it was 33 points in the fourth quarter for Denver, not just because they were held for 45 minutes of actual football time without scoring a point, but because of the way that it happened. The Broncos' first touchdown, Troy Franklin, the wide receiver, dives to catch a deflected pass in the back of the end zone for a 2-yard touchdown. Then Denver makes it 19-8, 14:08 left to go in the fourth quarter. You've got a situation where the defense gets them off the field, but the Giants find a way to get up 26-8 with 10:14 left in the game, and they seemingly take control back of the game. The Broncos then go on a 13-play, 74-yard drive that ends with a Bo Nix touchdown and a 2-point conversion to get them closer in this situation. The Broncos still, despite 2 touchdowns, had the Giants had a 97.4% chance to win the game with 5:07 left in the game. It is one of the more ridiculous things I've ever seen where 4 plays later, 2-yard touchdown pass from Bo Nix to R.J. Harvey, the rookie running back. Extra point cuts the Giants' lead to 26-23, 3:51 to play. I mean, it just goes on and on and on like that, and it's just complete nonsense. I don't know how Shane Bowen felt on Monday morning, but I imagine it was like having a hangover because this is one of the most ridiculous quarters of football I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. It's the dumbest thing in sports this week.
It was insane. It's going to be hard to top that game in terms of just the twists and turns of it in this NFL season.
Robert kept telling me how much he was looking forward to my reaction when I finally got a chance to watch that game, because obviously I'm doing stuff on Sundays. But it's just, I was like, my jaw was on the ground the entire
Absolutely
time.
insane.
Like, I almost didn't need to watch the first 3 quarters, just put on the fourth and be like, the hell happened
crazy.
here?
The missed extra points, the deflections that turned into touchdown catches for both teams. Insanity. I felt for Jackson Dart, man. He battled, and to lose that game on a pair of missed extra points, brutal. Even making one of those extra points would have sent it to overtime at the end.
I felt for Brian Burns, who at the end was like, why the hell are we dropping 8 in the coverage? What are we doing?
What are we doing, Shane? What's the deal, Shane?
When he got asked about it in the locker room, he was like, yes, we just have to execute whatever play is called. And it's like, no, tell us how you feel, big fella.
Meanwhile, Sean Payton is on a podium talking about Russell Wilson, but saying, I wish they had waited until after our game to start that kid at quarterback. And then Russ hitting back on Twitter. Did you see this?
This is the bounty thing. It's as aggressive as Russell Wilson has ever been with another person in his life.
So Sean Payton took that lighthearted jab at, I was joking with John Mara. I said you couldn't have waited to start Jackson Dart till after insinuating he would have rather faced Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Russ tweets yesterday afternoon, classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 years later through the media. # let's ride.
Which wasn't really a good dig, by the way, because how is he bounty hunting? He just wanted to say he was involved in Bountygate. His Chat GPT stuff couldn't come up with anything else.
Couldn't come up with
I get it.
Russell Wilson was Chat GPT. Russell Wilson was Google AI before Google AI existed.
It's very cringy, but I get it. He was hating. Now you're hating. Let's all just hate.
Let Russell Wilson take a shot. He never takes shots at anybody.
Yeah, it went from let him cook to let him give him something.
He's married to Sierra. I
don't
feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you even a little bit.
Feel bad for her.
Y'all saw this video of this Jets fan going around?
Yeah.
In fact, Robert, I'm going to resend it into the group because I feel like we need to hear this. The pain that I felt for this young man.
It's relatable. Is that it?
No, that was just a drop.
Okay.
Oh, we already have a drop from it?
Yeah, Justin said that the morning
great.
show used it a lot.
Yeah, that kid, maybe 15 years old, doing a quick post-game social media interview after the Jets lost.
Some guy's doing like a man on a street thing in the parking lot with a microphone as Jets fans are clearing the stadium.
Yep. We'll hear from it here in just a second. But my dumbest thing in sports, Jets owner Woody Johnson, who spoke to the media. He spoke
to the media.
But let me say,
Diana said, any sign of Amy, tell her we say hi. No sign of her.
Apparently she is not there. Someone on Twitter said that she was not at the fall owners meetings. But she was not the only owner that was absent.
Well, all this to say, it's great that he spoke.
Mm-hmm.
But his speaking only pissed off Jets fans more. Because, do we have Woody Johnson, Robert? This is Woody Johnson talking to a scrum of reporters.
What's your confidence level in Aaron to turn it around?
Well, it looks like he's turning around parts of it. You know, it's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. You know, I mean, he has the ability, but something just is not jiving. But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results if you go across the league. You have to play consistently with, at that position, and that's what we're going to try to do for the remainder of the season.
So what gives you hope then?
I just think defense, special teams are doing better. Defense is pretty good. If we can just complete a pass, it would look good. We got to complete some pass.
Well, if we could just complete a pass, it would look good to the quarterback that he gave a 2-year, $40 million contract. Also went on to say that he did not regret letting go of Aaron Rodgers, who's having a much better season in Pittsburgh. Now, granted, Rodgers could very well be terrible this year if he was still with the Jets, with that Jets stink all over him. But I want to hear from Amy Adams-Strunk like anybody else. But this is why I say Titans
She'll
fans
never do it.
Titans fans want wins more than they want to hear Amy Adams-Strunk talk. Because, great, the Jets owner spoke. Jets fans are out here just pulling their hair out. Because, yeah, the defense looks good. If only we had a guy that could complete a pass. While their former quarterback is having a resurgent season in Pittsburgh, and their current quarterback that they gave $40 million is the one that can't complete a pass. Oh, and the owner just went publicly ripping Justin Fields, essentially, and Tyrod Taylor, who they benched for him, or who they benched Justin Fields for, is now day-to-day with the knee injury. So they could very well have to go back to Justin Fields.
And putting Justin Fields in a position where he has to answer questions from the New York media about what his owner said.
Exactly. So I get it. Accountability, and owners get to do this, and it's frustrating.
Why are they all so bad at this?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what folks think hearing from Amy Adams-Strunk will solve. If you think you're going to come away from that feeling better about the situation, I think you should rethink that and go listen to what Woody Johnson had to say and listen to what Jets fans are saying.
I don't even I wonder if, and we'll get to Robert's dumbest thing in sports here in just a second. We'll take your phone calls.
We're out of time.
615-737-1045. I've got at least 4 more minutes.
Yeah, we got to take these calls too.
Okay, that's fine. We'll get to yours.
I ain't got to do it, Diddy.
What's the rush?
Roberts is good.
I ain't got to do it, Diddy.
Roberts is good.
No, it's okay. We can move on, Diddy.
I don't even think it's about accountability anymore with Amy or with Woody Johnson. I think people are there. There's probably just a portion of the fan base that just wants it as some kind of ritual shaming situation. Like, go out there, Game of Thrones style, shame, 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 while reporters berate you with questions about why you're so bad at this. What's your dumbest thing in sports, Robert?
I don't know why this team wants to hurt me so much.
Which one?
My team.
Oh.
I don't know why why do I feel like I hurt worse than the people that are actually getting paid to play this game? 1-5 coming out of a bye week. Do or die this weekend against the Chicago Bears. Everyone needs to be clicking. We are waiting for good news. We haven't heard if Lamar is even practicing this week. Everything is disheveled. Reports coming out about the Ravens. 25 sources in and around the facility are saying that things are bad. They removed the ping pong tables. How do the players respond? Marlon Humphrey, should I do a glizzy taste tour around the country one day? 50 states, 50 glizzies. Marlon, there's only one thing that I would like you to taste, and that is the taste of defeat, because it is obviously not bothering you. I understand it. I'm not trying to say these players aren't allowed to have lives outside of these games, but it is infuriating. It is the worst start they've had since Nam. And Marlon Humphrey wants to go try 50 different glizzies in 50 different states. How about this, buddy? How about this? How about that you just stay home? How about you just stay home and eat those glizzies on your couch? Because if this is what you've got, if this is what you're thinking about, when the hell did he tweet this? When the hell did he tweet this? 5:12 p.m.
Last night?
If this is what you're thinking about, if you're not worried about how I'm going to shut Rome Odunze down or how we're going to stop DJ Moore from getting behind us or how a resurgent DeAndre Swift isn't going to run all over us, if that's not just what is engulfing your mind, then stay home. Then stay home. That's my dumbest thing in sports.
To be clear, he tweeted something way dumber than that 2 days ago.
That's all he does,
On October 20th, he tweeted, has to be said, but boneless wings are way better.
That is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with his Twitter game.
He likes to.
He says infuriating food takes to try to rage bait people into attacking him.
Well, good, because that's the only reasonable reason why somebody would say something like that.
He's like an anti-Orlovsky.
Right.
Dan just does it organically. Marlon Humphrey's out here trying to bother
like
people.
he'll say things like, I actually like cottage cheese. Candy corn is actually good.
I like cottage cheese, too.
I literally had some for breakfast
polarizing
today.
Opinion is to say that cottage cheese is disgusting and gross. How do you like this but don't like this? I don't like pizza. Like, he'll just say stupid stuff like, I got to stop talking about it.
Well, it's
because
just
if we end up losing this weekend, I'm not coming into work ever again.
Well, it's just don't give people that opportunity to come to you and say, you don't care about this, you're worried about other stuff. Like, it's not that. He just has to be focused on football and thinking of nothing else 24/7. But Ben Jones, Nate Washington have both said this. Like, when you're losing,
just stay off Twitter.
Just stay off that stuff. You don't want to even be in public sometimes. Like, it's just kind of part of the job.
Or you don't even have to stay off Twitter. Just don't put yourself out there. Don't put yourself in a position to have to field questions about this, or to even, as Robert's saying, even remotely look like you're disinterested in what's going on.
Yeah,
because obviously the Ravens
coach,
had Super Bowl expectations.
If you're there, how do you not grab that guy and go like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Stop being a goofball, man.
You know what the reaction's going to be, and you're just going to get your fan base to be incensed, and it's like you just know what's going to happen.
Not even a coach, like a teammate. Like, I almost feel like that message is better sent from a teammate. You know what I'm saying? Because the locker room is supposed to police itself in its best version. Like, if you're Derrick Henry, you're going over to Marlon Humphrey, they both played at Alabama, and be like, hey, bub.
Slap the hell out of him with them big, meaty paws.
Hey, but
at least he's holding on to the ball with those big, meaty paws. I'm going to become the most repugnant person that you guys know if this weekend does not go the way I want it to go.
Oh, Lord. It got me rooting for the Ravens out here, so we have
I'm rooting for the Ravens just because all three of us picked them to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm rooting for the Ravens so that we have Robert on Monday.
Yeah, no, I promise you, I will call in sick Monday.
Oh, Lord.
I'll just assume you're winning a beer league soccer championship.
We'll just say Slay poisoned me, because that would be a better alternative than what I'm going to do.
There's laced chocolates over there.
Let me say, a Glizzy tour around the country, I'm down for that. That sounds awesome.
Shut up.
I would do that.
Shut up, Lucas.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm not trying to poke and prod. I'm saying it's dumb what Marlon Humphrey did. I also would like to do 50 states, 50 Glizzies.
Did you see that the Ravens took the ping pong table and the other fun things out of the locker room?
I mentioned it in my rant. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening to the show.
I have no rebuttal.
It's okay.
615-737-1045 is the number. What's the dumbest thing in sports this week?
What state do you think is the best Glizzies?
Shut up. No one cares. It's Chicago, but no one cares.
Well, is it a home game?
I don't even know, dude.
See, I think
That's
I
how
might be a
detached
Seattle
I
dog
am
guy.
from this. I have no idea if this is a home or away game. I haven't listened to a freaking Ravens anything.
It's a home game.
Good. We can lose in front of the people that aren't allowed to stand when they cheer.
Eric is in White House. What do you got?
Hey, guys. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but after Texas Tech was upset by Arizona State over the weekend, there was a field rush. It was a big reaction. But whoever was in charge of lowering the goalposts so, they wouldn't get removed and damaged, I guess, by the fans, it looked like they were hydraulically, being lowered. It's a cool, new way to lower it, I guess. But whoever was in charge of this completely just screwed up. And this, up to 1,200-pound goalpost slammed down on the field with players all in the end zone, students all in the end zone. And it's a miracle how it didn't hit someone.
Oh,
if it
my
was to hit
goodness.
someone, they would literally die if it hits them on the head. I recommend looking it up on Twitter, the video. It's really just a miracle how it didn't hit anyone. But the staff at Arizona State or whoever was manning that is just the dumbest person and should hopefully be fired.
That's
my dumbest
crazy.
thing. Thanks, guys.
Well, and this reminds me.
You've seen the video?
Yes,
I'm looking
it's
for a replay on
insane.
YouTube
Like
now.
it's chaos, players, fans on the field, and then here come the goalposts crashing down. He's right. It somehow avoids hitting anybody. But it reminds me of the end of the year last year. Arizona State was playing BYU in a game that essentially was going to send Arizona State to the playoff. And I can't remember if it was it would have put them in position to go to the Big 12 championship game. And Arizona State had a late lead, with 1 second left, though. They ruled that there was 1 second left on the clock, but not before people stormed the field and the goalpost came down. Like, Arizona State fans prematurely rushed to the field while they were putting 1 second back on the clock for BYU, and the goalpost literally came down. They had to get everybody off. They had to put the goalpost back up, and then BYU ran the last play. They didn't get anything. Arizona State still won. But something with the goalpost at Arizona State, my goodness.
Head on a swivel.
That's crazy. That's a great submission.
Kenny is in Nashville.
Yeah, hey, so I think it was Monday, Louisville basketball signed a freaking G League veteran, been in it for 3 years. Now he just gets to go play 2 years at Louisville. Make it make sense.
I cannot. He's 22 years old, and he is on the Louisville basketball roster with eligibility. It is a very bizarre story. Let's go to Jay in Nashville.
What's going on, guys? My dumbest thing in sports has to be the home state team, Tennessee Volunteers, at Alabama right before the half. No timeouts, throw a pass on the goal line, no Chris Brazzell in the game, most obvious passing situation, and Alabama taking it the opposite way for a 14-point swing in that game and ultimately deflating our chances at taking that game.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It was a popular submission for Oh No, as it was for the dumbest thing in sports this week. Paul is calling us from 65 South with the final submission for the day. What do you got, Paul?
This is sort of off the topic of what you normally talk about, but Formula One has a big competition between the top three guys, and in a race on Saturday or Sunday in the United States, the two top guys in the first turn of the race smash into each other, wipe each other out, and it gives number three all the points, and they get nothing.
Whoa. Yeah. Lucas, you see this?
Yeah.
Hey,
it was crazy.
it's stupid.
The punctuation on that is excellent.
The Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen race has been bonkers. It's been a while since we've had like a photo finish Formula One season.
Who wins?
I mean, I like Eric at the goalpost operator.
The goalpost.
Yeah, Eric was a good submission.
All right.
Let's do this so I can go smoke a cigarette.
Well done by Eric. Robert's
now
going
I want a hot
to
dog.
go rage smoke a cigarette. Lucas wants a hot dog. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy the Seether and Daughtry concert. Coming up next, slow starts for contenders that can still push for a Super Bowl. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Take a look at the NFL standings. It's been a while since we've done that. We've not really had a reason to. We know where things stand with the Titans. They traveled to Indianapolis this weekend. Last place taking on first place in Indy, as I mentioned. Division leaders in the AFC, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Colts, and the Broncos are 5-2. Philadelphia, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco. San Francisco and Seattle, both 5-2. The Rams also 5-2 at this point in time. The Cardinals 2-5, but tiebreakers have the Niners ahead. They are 5-1 in the NFC so far this year. Really well done by San Francisco to survive the early onslaught of injuries. Now, the teams leading their respective divisions, Green Bay is 4-1-1, leading their division. Detroit is 5-2 for what it's worth. But what you have now here is a couple of different teams that had higher expectations, that have not gotten off to a reasonable start. I think we had reasonably low expectations for the Titans. I think I picked them to win 5 games. Their win total was 5.5. Would be impressive at this point if they were able to scratch their way back to 5 wins. It seems unlikely, but we will find out. They have 10 more games to play. Sounds like a threat almost. You look at the rest of these teams that started out in a certain spot. Of the teams that we expected to be contenders at the start of the season, which have fallen the most short of expectation. There's a couple that come to mind. Cincinnati is in second place, but they're 3-4. We understand the situation with Robert's Baltimore Ravens. They are just almost totally bereft of players, or are starting to get some guys back, but they are still horrendous on defense. They are 1-5 to start the year. Houston is 2-4. Both the Chiefs and the Chargers are 4-3, though the Chiefs seem to be ascending and the Chargers seem to be on the downturn, getting their asses whipped by the Colts.
Yeah, it was total opposite. The Chargers started really hot, and they've tailed. Obviously, they've lost both of their tackles to injury. Running back room's taken hit after hit, and the Chiefs dug out of a hole, and this is the first time all year they've had a winning record after getting Rashee Rice back. People now, to bother Robert, are just submitting different kinds of hot dogs from different states, although Jael says the New Orleans has the crawfish hot dogs, or otherwise known as the etouffee glizzy. Oh, wow. I kind of am with Lucas now on this. I'm not a huge hot dog proponent, but maybe me, Marlon Humphrey, and Lucas can go on a hot dog excursion. Man, Robert just left the studio. The older I get, the more I just love a good hot dog. It's a very bizarre turn of events. Man.
Seattle still.
Huh?
Just call me if you need something. I'm taking it.
No, but I'll get you a hot dog, buddy. You know you want a hot dog. Don't be that way, Robert. Don't leave.
Just rage quits.
If I order a hot dog right now, he's going to eat it.
He'll be right back in here. Are you kidding me? He'll smell it from down the hall. He'll come sprinting. Washington is 3-4 as well. Now, Jaden Daniels has missed time sporadically. Marcus Mariota threw one of the worst pick sixes I think you've seen so far this season. Minnesota is 3-3. The quarterback situation has not gone to plan there. And then you have the 3-5-2 teams in the NFC West. Which of those teams has fallen the most short of expectation, though? Because it's hard for me to sit there.
No, it's Baltimore. I mean, it's not even. Well, what are we even talking about here? It's Baltimore.
Well, but Baltimore's situation requires context. Like,
of course
yes,
it does.
They have fallen short of expectation, but Cincinnati and Baltimore are basically in the same circumstance where they just don't have their players.
Right, but they're also not, because Cincinnati's 3-4 and Baltimore's 1-6. Like,
Shout out Joe Flacco.
Of course, context matters, but they still are where they are, and it is so far short of where expectations were for both teams.
They're staring down the barrel of 1-6 because the Bears have won 4 in a row.
Now,
and Lamar doesn't sound like he's practiced so far this week. I know it's early, but
it may seem, I don't know. I mean, when you talk about who can dig at, between the three, Cincinnati, Baltimore, Kansas City obviously has already started to dig out of the hole, and Rashee Rice has added something immediately to that passing game. He had 2 touchdowns, even if they were playing the lifeless, and I mean lifeless, Raiders in that game. I mean, they had less than 100 yards of offense, Vegas did. Kansas City,
they ran 30 total plays.
Whew. Oh, my goodness.
30 total offensive plays.
Kansas City hosts Washington on Monday Night Football this weekend. But between the 3-4 Bengals and the 1-6 Ravens, obviously injuries are a huge part of both seasons for the Bengals. It's mostly because of Joe Burrow. What's more likely, that Joe Flacco can keep the Bengals kind of afloat, which he showed he can do? How sustainable is that? What he did on Thursday Night Football against Pittsburgh. They host the lowly Jets this weekend, so okay, that big chance to get up to 500 there. But what's more likely? Joe Flacco keeps the Bengals afloat for Joe Burrow to come back and go on a postseason run? Or the Ravens, who I think we all agree, when at full strength, are a better football team.
I don't know about that defense, man.
Get parts and pieces back in a way that gets them to a level where they can get into the playoffs and go on a run.
If Robert was back there, I would ask him if he felt Zach Orr might be fired in the middle of the season. But, of course, he's not because he's rage quit. And
okay, there's hot dogs on the way.
Smoke a cigarette. Oh, you ordered us hot dogs?
Mm-hmm.
All of us?
Yeah, one each.
Hell yeah.
Probably a bad idea for me.
Washington is also... Washington, we were talking about, though, is like who's most likely to take a step back from last year. And it's not... It's unfortunate because Jaden Daniels is just... He's missing time, and it's just the timing of when he's missing that's cost them valuable opportunities. They're under 500. They're 3-4. They're not dead. But as you mentioned, they go to Kansas City. If you end up 3-5, you're in a much worse situation where Dallas is 3-1. They've got the offense. Their defense is horrendous. Although, if that... The Trey Wingo thing yesterday, I don't know if you saw it. I don't make too much of the idea that people are calling about Max Crosby because, of course, they are.
But he said that the Cowboys are calling about Max Crosby.
Sure, but everybody would be calling about everybody at this point just to kind of poke and prod and see what's out there. If you're the Colts, you're probably calling about Jeff Simmons just out of sheer curiosity. Be like, hey, what if we dangle this in front of you? Can we get Jeff now?
It'd be pretty funny for the Cowboys after choosing to not extend the best pass rusher in the NFL to go give up draft capital for Max Crosby.
Correct.
Who's really good, but you also have to pay him too, and he might not be as good as Micah Parsons.
So, all right, if we go non-Ravens, what about the Raiders? They're awful. They are so awful. And I didn't necessarily expect the Raiders to be competing for a Super Bowl this year, but there was...
you're just talking about differences in preseason expectations to what we're getting?
I thought the Raiders could have been a wild card team just on paper. Geno Smith is playing... I mean, this is the worst football of Geno Smith's career since he became a starter again. Like, he looks like Jets Geno.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody expected this bad of an experience. They're 2-5, and their 2 wins obviously against the Titans, and then week 1 of the Patriots before they got it rolling there in Vrabel. I mean, where is there another win for the Raiders? They host the Jags this weekend. They go to Denver.
Pretty fraught, though.
They don't get the...
Denver's 5-2, but like I feel like that one's the biggest house of cards. Like that one feels like the most prone to collapse. Now, you could have said that they should have beaten the Colts. They should have beaten the Colts. It was a dumb penalty that put the Colts in position.
And they overcame a slow start
to win
the
that
season.
Game. Yeah, I mean, but they haven't, like, they feel like the most fraudulent of all of these 5-2 teams. If you're talking about just going through the list, the 3 NFC West teams that we talked about, so everybody but the Cardinals, Tampa Bay, who's dealing with so many injuries, Detroit, Philadelphia, Denver, and New England. Doesn't Denver feel like the most fraud out of those teams? Maybe San Francisco just hanging on by a thread because, like, at some point, the Fred Warner injury, the Nick Bosa injury, like all these are going to catch up to them.
If we're talking about contenders, it's really hard for me to say the Patriots are a contender right now. Like, they're playing really well, and they're riding this wave.
Drake May is playing so much better than Bo Nix.
Yeah, but at some point, like, the roster is better than what we gave it credit for, but it's still not one of the better rosters in the AFC.
No.
And at what point does that come back around?
But the AFC's bad. Like, the AFC's bad this year. That's the thing that I don't think we're acknowledging. Yeah, they're not great by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't think they're going to, win the AFC East this year. I think that Buffalo at some point is going to come back to form and chip away at that lead that they've built. Now, going to Buffalo and winning for the Patriots is a huge advantage. It's going to give them a little bit of cushion, but we're not even halfway there yet. I don't know how you couldn't look at it. Don't even make it about New England, Lucas. Make it about Drake May. I don't know how you could look at Drake May and say that's not a guy, or that's a guy not capable of right now competing for at least a postseason run.
Sure, but I think
also their schedule is awful. Have you seen their schedule? Pull it up.
The Patriots' remaining schedule.
Oh my God,
I have it in front of me.
It's the worst in the league.
They host Cleveland this weekend. They host Atlanta after that. Then they go to the Bucks. They still have the Bucks on the road. They still have to go to the Ravens. They do get the Jets twice. They obviously host the Bills.
What is the Ravens game now?
It's in late December.
No, I know, but like,
I don't care. The Ravens are still a talented team, and they can be healthier than they are now. Like,
sure.
They're
going to help them make tackles.
But I don't know, man. Between the Broncos and the Patriots, if you're asking who's more likely to make a postseason run, it's Denver to me. Like, Drake May is playing well and playing better than Bo Nix, but
I think that's crazy.
Denver has a better roster overall. Denver both have good head coaches. Sean Payton has had much more success than Mike Vrabel, and I think is a better play caller than Josh McDaniels. No, to say that's crazy is crazy. Like, the Patriots are hot, absolutely, but the Broncos.
Stephon Diggs is better than any receiver on the Broncos roster, yes?
I'll give you that.
Cortland Sutton made some crazy catches this year.
Cortland Sutton is better than Diggs, but Diggs is right now 12th in the NFL in receiving yards. And to your point, New England does have the easiest remaining schedule at 3.3 3.313.
Who do you trust to show up in a playoff game more, Cortland Sutton or Stephon Diggs? Stephon Diggs is a dog. And I'm not saying I'm not down on Cortland Sutton by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they are way closer. I think New England is a better operation right now than living and dying. Like, Bo Nix is not going to be able to pull off a 33-point comeback in the fourth quarter every week. They should have lost to the Giants. I know they didn't, but whatever.
Because they kept getting the ball and kept finding ways to go down and score at the end of the game. I get
Shane
it.
Bowen helped them there.
But I don't know, man. I just think it's a better roster, and it's a head coaching duo between Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel that you could go either way, but Sean Payton. Like,
historically, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to lean on Sean Payton. I don't want to get carried away because the Patriots are on this win streak.
I'm not getting carried away.
And suddenly call them a contender. They are ahead of schedule.
Absolutely a contender.
They're not a Super Bowl contender.
Yes, they absolutely
Patriots are not a Super Bowl contender.
are. That's insane.
Patriots are not a Super Bowl contender.
Insane. How many better AFC teams are there?
Oh, the Colts have certainly been better.
Yes. The Chiefs.
The Patriots beat the Bills. I still think the Bills are more of a Super Bowl contender than the Patriots.
The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots turned that ball over 5 times in that game. They should have beat the Steelers. Again, I know they didn't, but like Lucas, you cannot argue that they have beaten the best team in their division and could have very easily beaten the best team in the AFC North and say that team is not a Super Bowl contender. It's insane.
I know you love Vrabel, bud.
It's got nothing to do with Mike Vrabel. You're telling me that you trust Daniel Jones more than you do Drake May. That's insane.
We said before the season that the Patriots have a similar level of roster than the Titans.
Yeah, and they're playing above expectation.
Sure,
Will Campbell is better. Stephon Diggs is better. Keyshawn Butte looks like a better wide receiver than anybody the Titans have.
And then suddenly, because Drake May is making that year 2 leap, they go all the way from that to Super Bowl contender? Nah,
yes,
man.
if they win the AFC East, and I don't know that they will, it is very unlikely, but they have the win at Buffalo. Like, they have given themselves the cushion that they need to make this a conversation. They beat the best team in the division. It is unquestionable that they have put themselves in a position to contend. Again, they may get to the playoffs and get their bleep pushed in by the Kansas City Chiefs or whoever they might see in the wild card round or something like that. I'm not saying they're the best team out of the field, but I'm saying that they are one of the best 4 teams in the AFC right now, and the AFC is fraught, but that absolutely makes you a Super Bowl contender. What do you got, Robert?
Didn't we do this argument like 2 years ago?
With who?
Anyone who makes the playoffs is a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah, but this team is better than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing that I'm on your side. I'm saying that if they make the playoffs, they are a Super Bowl contender. No one's arguing with you.
All right, I'm sorry, buddy.
No, I argue that. If you just making the playoffs doesn't mean you're a Super Bowl contender.
But if you go to the playoffs, you are inherently a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
You could go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, now you agree.
No, by definition you are, but you're not.
Yeah, but Drake May is. Drake May is not Mason Rudolph running around out there in Kansas City. That's nonsense.
They're playing way above even the highest expectations, that's for sure.
615-737-1045. Our high school football hero, Lucas wasn't here yesterday, so we'll be joined by Hendersonville running back Tate Rumney coming up next. Look at that. That's Lucas on the call. Hendersonville running back Tate Rumney is our high school football hero of the week. 37 carries, 305 yards, and a touchdown in the 37-36 overtime win over Station Camp. Thanks for joining us, Tate. We appreciate it. Congratulations on the win. I know that had to be exhilarating for you and your guys.
Yes, sir. It was fun going out there and getting a big win in overtime.
So what's the feeling like? Obviously, I'm sure there's a million different emotions in a situation like that, and I know that it's not the ultimate goal that you're taking each game as you go, but what's the emotion like when you get that touchdown to put you over the top?
It felt great. Our teammates, we stayed confident. We all stayed focused, and we felt like we were going to pull it out at the end, so felt amazing, but we knew, the job wasn't finished at the time, so kept pushing.
37 carries, 305 yards, and a touchdown in a 37-36 overtime win. This was one of the craziest games. This is the craziest game we've had all season so far on Friday Night Rivals on my TV 30. Hendersonville scoring at the end with an extra point to walk it off, but it gets blocked, goes to overtime. They still win in OT. Tate, for you as just a sophomore, what just broke in the right way for you in this game to have a career performance like you did, to come from behind down 17 and lead your team back, playing, I'll note, in an offense that's very run heavy, and you guys continued to pound the rock and find ways to march down the field behind your run game. What was working for you and your offensive line so well in this matchup?
I feel like we've gained some confidence, and just getting more experience with the guys I'm playing with has really helped me a lot, just throughout practice and other games, scrimmages, whatever. It's definitely helped us a lot, and I feel like we all definitely clicked that night.
It was senior night at Hendersonville High School, so a lot of your fellow teammates playing their last regular season game on that home field. Obviously, you as a sophomore, you've got a lot more football to play at Hendersonville, but just how cool was it for you to help your team win in that way in such dramatic fashion for a send-off for all those senior guys?
It was a great feeling. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to keep playing with these guys for the rest of the year, and I love them. They're like my brothers. So
now Hendersonville 4-3. They've won 4 of their last 5, in great position to potentially host a playoff game out of Region 6-5A. But you step out of the region this week to go to Shelbyville for a Thursday night game, Tate. How tough was it to just get past the emotions, the high of winning in that way on Friday, and shift your focus on a short week to a road trip at Shelbyville?
We knew that, we had to stay focused. We just knew that if we stayed up on the high that we'd, walk into Shelbyville and they'd beat us. So we've been trying to just focus on Shelbyville and nothing else. Not a week pass, not a week forward, just Shelbyville.
How do you compartmentalize that, especially on a short week?
Just, a lot of preparing, watching film, and our coaches have done a really good job of just keeping us focused on Shelbyville.
Well, we so appreciate you taking the time on this Wednesday. We hope you guys continue to stay healthy and have success, and good luck on Thursday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Hendersonville running back Tate Rumney with us on 104.5 The Zone. Mike McCoy was scheduled to speak at 11:50. I guess that hasn't started. Okay.
It has started.
It has
yes.
started.
We'll break here, but I will put it on the YouTube for everyone during the break.
Okay.
And he has said L'Jarius Sneed is going to miss some time moving forward, and Jeffrey Simmons will be week to week.
I mean, that's really the only thing we care about. But I suppose the YouTube chat will enjoy Mike McCoy's press conference, and we'll take a break.
Like what Mason did last week. We talked all week long or all year long here about how you never know when your number's going to be called. Mason stepped into the game in a special teams role and played a little bit on offense. And that's exactly what we're looking for moving forward with everybody else. Regardless of what position you are, it's a unbelievable opportunity. And that's all you can ask for as a player. And with that, I'll open up to questions.
Is Steve an IR candidate?
We'll evaluate that, and we'll keep you posted as we go.
With Lockett being gone, slot position, like how much of an opportunity does that open up for a guy like Chim DK?
Well, Chim, as you all know, his role has increased the past couple of weeks, and as the season went on, and you see the production, the big play he made the other day in the game. So he's made the most of that opportunity. So it's great, and now it's going to be opportunity for others also with where our roster is right now, and with it's an opportunity for other guys to step up.
You've seen you've seen Cam now up close and all, and in the situation that the team is in and he's in with struggling, he's a pretty evenly keeled guy. But how do you keep him from getting frustrated as a young player?
Well, I think I had a great talk with Cam yesterday, and the great thing about him is he wants to be great. We back in the offseason program, you guys heard about him being here early in the morning, leaving late. He busts his tail. He's a young player, and like all young players, there's the ups and downs. And a great example is Peyton Manning. He had the ups and downs a rookie year. Other players. My first year with Trevor in Jacksonville in a new system. It was his second year. There's ups and downs. I've had a number of other quarterbacks I've coached too. The first year in the system, there's the good and the bad. But as a rookie in the NFL, there's so much to learn. There is so much to learn, and I think, that's the great thing about him. He stays so even keeled during the games, and it's just, you talk to him on the sideline, you coach him through things, you just help him get better every single day, and that's what I told him, since the first day he was in here. When I first talked to him, because he asked me some questions about some things, I just said, hey, try to get better every single day. And that's every young player. You're trying to get better. There's a lot to learn at this level, and he'll just continue to get better every week.
Mike Bryce Oliver, and he's been talking like he's felt he's ready for a couple weeks. How much might he be able to give a boost to the receiving corps when he's back in?
When he's ready, he'll be ready to go out there. And he's another one of the players that when he's ready to go, we'll put him out there, and we know what he can do, and it's just a matter of him getting healthy to be able to go out there and play, because you want to make sure everyone's ready to go. I always talk about with the players is a return to play policy, and we each got to make sure these guys are dialed in and ready to go so they can play and be the best player they possibly can be when they're ready to go.
What do you feel like he can add?
Well, he's experienced, he's played, he's has position flexibility. He's that bigger target, and we see when we've given him opportunities this year, and his number's been dialed up, and there haven't been a ton of them, but when we've asked him to do certain things, he's done a nice job for us. And in the kicking game, he's one of our core players in the kicking game.
First time Cam's facing a team for the second time, how much would that help him, maybe in preparation, maybe learn from some things first time around?
Yeah, like I've said a number of times, there's nothing like experience. And it's when you see a team for the second time, you have a better understanding for the player. And they've had some changes on their roster also, but it's just you have a better feel. And it's like, you talk about a young player like Cam at the quarterback position, you play certain schemes. And you have an idea, but till you go out there and it changes and it picks up a little bit, you see the disguises, you see how players are, and a lot of the good players, they keep their little notebooks and they write things down. So he'll go back and look at his game plan from last time and look at it and say, hey, here's some things I saw. Here were some indicators. So, but they've got a great defense. So he's just got to go out there and execute the system.
It's the time of year where trade deadline rumors start swirling. Not talking about specific rumors, but do you address that with the team? Do you talk to players about that sort of stuff coming out, or do you kind of just trust them to handle their business and know not to worry?
Well, we have open communications with players about everything. I want to communicate with the players, but our number one focus right now is this weekend. Everything else will take care of itself down the road, but it's just our focus right now is going to Indy and finding a way to win the game. And players, I've got open door policy. Players and I talk about a lot of things. They're always welcome to come in and talk about things, and I think that's the way it needs to be. You have to have open communication and be upfront with players. And like you guys asked about hard coaching the other day, it's just you be brutally honest with players. And but our number one focus right now. We're not worrying about down the road. It's about this week. That's the number one thing.
What are some of the things you guys are implementing in practice to help Cam with ball security?
Well, this is nothing new. Cam knows right now the number one thing he has to do is take care of the football. He's been playing football a long time. I think he's hurt. Every meeting, all these things you always talk about ball security. Opponents you're playing, you show them videos every week. We talk about it. You see how teams try to strip balls, not just the quarterback, but other positions. So they see all that. There's drills every day in practice. That starts as a young kid. So he understands the importance. He can't put the ball on the ground in the pocket. The ball's it's critical that we don't turn the ball over.
Welcome back to the show. We have breaking sports news. I think it is deserving of the laser light show at your convenience. Robert. As we went to break, Pete Thamel and Jeff Passan of ESPN, Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello is finalizing a deal to become the next manager of the San Francisco Giants, according to the aforementioned Thamel and Passan. Vitello, 47, he's older than I thought he was. He looked great for 47. Good for Tony.
He looks about 32.
Why do we look so bad? And he looks awesome. Anyway, Vitello, 47, will be the first ever to jump from college coach to MLB manager without any professional experience. Tony Vitello, we knew you well.
The women will never forget you, Tony.
Good night, sweet prince.
Well, the women in San Francisco are about to be treated to Tony Vitello at this point in time.
I only wish my mom. I only wish my mom could have met him.
I love that.
God, she would have loved Tony. God, she would have loved Tony.
Such a good song.
Am I laughing or crying?
Oh, I think a little of both. I mean, we're all sad, right?
It sucks.
Robert's sad because he wanted a new stepdaddy. Lucas is sad because the only national champion he's known damn near in his lifetime is Tony Vitello. I'm sad because Tony's a good interview and I like college baseball. He made me like college baseball.
Same. He made, and this is part of what made it fun. And the funny thing is, Vanderbilt fans are kind of experiencing this right now with Pavia, right? You either hate him or love him. That's what it was with Tony. But you cannot deny that he made Tennessee baseball a conversation. He made them interesting. They were loud. They were brash, fun. And, man, it was just a fun ride. Just that era was so awesome. So many moments that culminated in something tangible, in a championship. And those type of runs are special. You can't take those for granted. Like, at most successful coaches have moments that bring you good memories, but not that many of them have those memories build up to a championship. And Tony did that for Tennessee, and now he's off to the West Coast. I mean, you have to tip the cap. Go do something that's literally never been done before. As a career college coach, to go coach a Major League Baseball organization, I can't wait to see how that translates. Tony's an emotional guy, right? He'll speak his mind after press conferences. He's not the vanilla, laid back, or he is laid back, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like,
he's about to be laid all the way back in San Francisco. You wait. The chat is torn up. The chat is torn asunder. Karen Reeves, my side piece is gone.
Ramon says Tony was either going to break your heart now or later. We feel like the women that Tony Vitello has been with. It was just later for us.
Tony! No! No!
Oh, we're going to miss him, man. Every time, he came on the show a few times.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Every interview he ever did.
We don't have to stop trying to have Tony on, by the way. I'd still like to have Vitello.
We'll get a little Giants check-in.
Make us care about Major League Baseball. I now have rooting interest in the San Francisco Giants.
It's not unfathomable that Vols fans would become fans of a professional team in
for sure.
California
most
because
of them
Dalton Connect to the Lakers.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, Giants fan. Yes, Lucas. I know exactly what you're going to say. I feel like sometimes talking with Lucas is like talking with Cheyenne. She's like, "Oh yes, we're doing." No, we're not. Hold on. Wait a second, baby.
Well, he's just so intent on talking over the two of us.
Coming from,
no, I'm not.
Look at old pot meeting the kettle over there.
I have to.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I'm in a fight.
I never talk over you guys.
I'm in a fight over here, okay? The only way that I can get him to shut up is to yell louder than him, and it's hard.
So are we a Giants show now? Who's the Giants' best player? I know absolutely nothing about baseball.
I thought Buster Posey was still playing for him.
All right, let's see.
Somebody in the
I
chat.
can't believe you would accuse me of talking
Shut
over
up.
you.
Somebody in the
I
chat
can't name one time that I've done that.
asked us if we were going to make World Series picks, and I said, I dare you to ask the three of us who's in the World Series. I know the Dodgers are, right?
We know who's in the World Series.
I know the Dodgers are.
And the Blue Jays?
Yeah, they just won Game 7. Brett Curtin was in here with his Blue Jays hoodie. They beat the Mariners.
Man,
Seattle's team of destiny run came to an end. Also,
you're a big Major League Baseball guy, are you?
I mean, I will,
glance
it's
up at a box.
adjacent. Yeah, I'll pay attention to playoffs.
I
wanna see what's
completely
happening.
forgot Brett was in here in a Blue Jays sweater.
I at least know what teams are. I was watching Monday Night Football in Seattle on Monday.
Jason Brown said, what happened to the McCoy press conference? What do I care about Mike McCoy's press conference? They're 1-6. Chill out.
Well, he said that L'Jarius Sneed will be out for some time and that Jeffrey Simmons is week to week.
Sick.
So
There's your Mike
important.
McCoy press conference.
Okay, wait. Before we move on, I asked Google AI who the best players on the Giants were. So these are the players that we have to familiarize ourselves with in order to follow Tony's career. Center fielder Willie Mays, catcher Buster Posies, also outfielder Barry Bonds.
Posey.
Christy Mathewson, who is a pitcher for them. I don't know why his picture's in black and white. And Wilmer Flores, who is an infielder. Also Jeff Kent. Look for those guys on the Giants. Seems like Google AI is providing very up-to-date information.
This has been your Baseball Minute with the Buck Rising Show.
Well, that is the ultimate test. If anybody can get this show to care about Major League Baseball, it's Tony.
So, I mean, again, he made me care about college baseball, to your point.
Yeah. So I'm just fascinated at what kind of attitude the Giants will play with. Like, what does Tony sound like after games? He connected with college baseball players so well. How does that translate to the pros? I'm sure the rest of the SEC is very happy about this news.
Yeah, some loser on YouTube says the SEC just got classier. Shut up.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, though. That's what makes it fun.
You nerd.
Well, but we get to have those discussions, right? It's like, and the irony of it is, how many Vanderbilt fans were like that, right? With Tim Corbin and the legend that he is and doing it the way Vanderbilt's done it. And then Tony comes along, and Vandy fans hated him for that, right? They're classless. They don't do things the right way. And now Vanderbilt is kind of turned around a little bit, where Diego Pavia is like taking a knee in pregame warmups.
I know, I love
practicing victory formation. That's as Tony Vitello, Tennessee baseball as it gets right there. So that's what makes these things fun, man. It's what brings juice into these discussions. And Tony did that to college baseball. And the popularity of that sport's just grown overall over the last few years. But where does Tennessee go from here? Who does Danny White try to go poach?
I mean, I don't even. You're the hot board king around here. You
love
were
a good hot board.
You were clamoring for a coaching search. Now you got one at your own detriment.
I know.
Can you imagine if this news would have broken at halftime of the Alabama game?
It almost did. I know. Well, Danny had to replace a Tennessee football coach. He didn't go out and get the best name on the market, right? He got Josh Heupel, who he had worked with, who wasn't the most inspiring hire. Danny White had to replace a Tennessee women's basketball coach. He didn't go get the best women's basketball coach on the market. He went and got Kim Caldwell, who was an up-and-comer, a rising star. That's the thing about Danny. He's made a bunch of home run hires at multiple stops, but at no point has he made, and it's because he's been at places like Buffalo, but all of his best hires have come from coaching talent that he has identified on the way up. Lance Leipold, how is the last name of Nate Oates at Buffalo? He hired Nate Oates at Buffalo for his first head coaching job. Josh Heupel, who was only an offensive coordinator before he got hired at UCF by Danny White, and Kim Caldwell, the latest in that trend. So does he go that way with baseball? Does he hire an assistant or a lower level head coach that he believes is an SEC level coaching talent, or does he for the first time go pony up for a Jim Schlossnagel type? I don't know.
Every time you say that name, it doesn't sound like a real person. Like, I know he is, but still. Ramon, bothering Vanderbilt fans in the chat, says, why has no MLB team come to get Tim Corbin? People are asking.
Because he's old and unattractive, obviously.
Hey.
I mean, it didn't say he's a bad baseball coach. He's just not as hot as Tony. Obviously, that's San Francisco on their big whiteboard. All right, guys, what do we need in the next general manager? Young, sexy, playboy.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
For who?
The local professional football team.
Oh, I was alleging that. I thought you were alleging that you were the young, sexy playboy.
He probably does think of himself that way.
I mean, I absolutely do.
Stop it.
You're adorable.
Yeah. To act like you would be in the same league as Tony.
Oh, no, but like if you're asking me what goes on in my head, absolutely I live in that world of delusion. You two are insane if you don't think I do.
There is only one playboy on this show, and we're all aware of who it is.
This pumpkin figurine that Ramon brought in?
Nope. He's back here flexing.
What are you doing? Flexing what?
Showing off the trapezius muscle.
Your thumbs?
Just look at that. Look like a Greek god back here. I have to keep the lights dim.
You look like a pear.
No, I look like a pair of jacked men put into one man's body.
You're right. That sweatshirt is the size of a sweatshirt that would fit two normal-sized men.
I wore this sweatshirt when I was in college, dang it.
Doesn't make it right.
And I don't have a shirt on underneath either. What's that say about my body?
Means your nipples are chafing.
Means I'm confident. Confident that my butt crack and my belly will show.
I can't believe it, man. That's so
sucks.
crazy.
I mean, it's not crazy.
No, but
it's the most likely
crazy.
outcome.
It's crazy to put myself in the mind of myself in 2017 when Tennessee was hiring this young assistant from Arkansas and Tony Vitello, and to think that less than a decade later he'd be going straight up to the majors is crazy. What a meteoric rise he's had.
Well, good on Tony.
Yes, very happy for Tony Vitello.
That's awesome.
Once in a lifetime opportunity, dream job type of stuff. And Tennessee baseball tries to move on. Where does the money go, Danny? Where does the money go? And what does Tennessee baseball look like?
What do you want to do? You want them to just pour more money into football? Because, that's going to be the refrain from some fans.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to pour more money into football.
How much more money do you need for that football program?
More.
One of your friends who will not be named, but could be named Jay, said that he would trade the entire baseball program.
For 8-4.
For 8-4. For a guaranteed 8-4 Willy Wonka ticket.
My buddy Jay, who you both know, is
he may be named Jay.
Yeah, may or may not be. Is a very much. He loves the success, but he's like, no, I would give it all up for even the slightest moment of football success.
I completely relate.
Would Tennessee fans cut the Pride of the Southland band if it meant that you could win 10 games? You could never have the band again.
You could never run through the T again.
Oh no! Don't say that. They could make a T out of the fans.
T?
Yes.
Ramon does remind us on the FNM Bank chat. Danny White will be on Ramon and Will tomorrow morning at some point. Tennessee athletic director.
Was that planned?
Highly
previously?
informative.
Was that previously planned?
I think that's something that's come about this week in light of these circumstances.
I think that Ramon is behind the scenes working like a big J journo and getting somebody that can tell us the answers that we need.
Well done by Ramon.
That's right.
Big J journo.
So you have a 4-hour window to possibly catch Danny White. You can also watch the replay of the show whenever they have Danny White on Zone TV, or you can listen to the podcast, as you can get all 4 shows podcasts wherever you download your podcast. We didn't know if Lucas was going to be here today, so I mailed it in and booked Greg Cosell live. Cosell joins us next.
Goodbye.
All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEZONE. That's one word, code THEZONE. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. 21 plus. Tennessee only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Normally we tape the install with Greg Cosell on Thursday mornings, but we had to adjust, and Greg was kind enough to adjust with us. So Cosell will join us momentarily as soon as Robert gets things up and running on Zoom. Greg, I believe we have you now at Greg Cosell, of course, is where you can follow him. The NFL Matchup Show available to you in the early morning hours if you want to watch it live. Greg, I actually watched the Matchup Show live this past week like a sicko at 3 a.m. in the morning because I couldn't sleep.
You know, but most people, I think, probably DVR it.
Yes.
But although the ratings have been very good the last couple of years, and I don't know how all that works. Do you know how all that works, like with DVR versus TV watching? I have no idea about that. That's way beyond my simple mind.
Yeah, I think the people responsible for producing the ratings just take aggregate numbers and tend to put them in a couple of different places or to combine those things. But either way, we understand that it's quality football talk, and that's what people want. Also, they enjoy you and Sal Pal and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, no, I know it's been, and I think what year is this with Darius Butler? 3 or 4? 4 maybe? I lose track. I've been doing it so long, Buck, I lose track. You know, the first year of the show was 1984.
That predates literally everybody on this current show at this point by about 10 years. But that's why you're the best, Greg. You've been doing it as long as anybody and as well as anybody. Absolutely. Before we dive into, I want to talk about Drake May. I want to talk about Cam Ward. I want to talk about Daniel Jones here in just a second, Greg. But the Tennessee baseball team just lost Tony Vitello, their coach, to the San Francisco Giants. You have collegiate baseball experience. Are you interested in being the next coach of the Vols? We're starting the search. We're making it broad.
Well, you know, I did play baseball in high school, and I would have played in college if I wasn't a moron. But no, I saw that. And he's the first coach, right, who is going directly from college to being a manager in Major League Baseball, correct?
It's never happened before. You are correct.
Interesting. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. Look, we know that these teams do major searches. I'm talking about the Major League team. So they obviously feel that he can do that. And it'll be interesting to watch.
You can hear Greg Cosell as well on Fox Sports Radio on Sunday mornings before your NFL action begins. A lot of times there's NFL action already going on when Greg is on the air for Fox. And you can enjoy the analysis in real time while you watch your football. So, Greg, it was a kind of an inverse game for the Titans because a lot of times they will scrap and claw their way into some kind of momentum. Fourth quarter hasn't been their friend, but they came out swinging in the first quarter. The offense scored its first quarter touchdown of the season. I wonder what you saw on those initial drives and what Cam Ward was doing well that ultimately then did fade throughout the course of the game.
You know, it's funny. I actually thought that despite the score, I thought this was the best that Ward has looked over the course of a full game. And I thought, quite frankly, that the Titans' route concepts and combinations at times helped him. They gave Ward more defined reads and throws so he could play with better anticipation and timing. You'll notice, I'm sure, as you did, Buck, that the ball seemed to come out a lot quicker throughout the course of the game.
Yep.
And that has to be the starting point. You don't want him sitting in the pocket because he does have a tendency to do that if he feels that it's not clean. And I thought, I mean, obviously on that possession where they scored, I'm trying to think, was it they had a field goal and then a touchdown, correct?
Field goal and then the 38-yarder to DK.
Right, but the play right before the 38-yarder to DK, if I'm not mistaken, was an 18-yarder to DK, right? And I think that, that was the kind of throw where you say one of those throws where you believe you can be a quality NFL quarterback. They put him under center. It was play action. It was a 3-level combination to the field. So its read was just to one side of the field. It happened to be cover 2. He made a great throw to DK. And then obviously the touchdown was shotgun play action. It was kind of a misdirection throw as well because DK ran the deep over opposite the play action, and he ran a great route, by the way. And I thought Helm, and this may have been overlooked, Helm made an excellent block on a defensive end. White weighs about, and he was out in space, so he didn't have help. And White weighs about 290 pounds. But But then you look on the first possession on the third down play where he misses Iyer Manor, and that's a pitch and catch throw. That's a layup. Those are throws you got to make. So you see, but overall, I thought this game was better. And not just because the numbers were better in terms of completion percentage, they were better for a reason. They weren't just better because at the end of the game, it just happened to be better. They were better for a reason. And I thought overall there was more of a sense of, hey, drop back, get the ball out, get the ball to someone. It doesn't have to be 30 yards down the field. Make throws.
Greg Cosell of NFL Films is here with us on 104.5 The Zone. We're doing a live episode of The Install today because Greg has been kind enough to adjust to our schedule.
Greg, can you give us some more context on how that kind of, that is opposite of what was happening before? Like, compared to what the Titans were doing before, what were you seeing with Cam and what he did or didn't have in terms of the check down stuff, the quick game stuff that he utilized more of?
Well, look, guys, you know me well enough to know that no matter what team I'm looking at, and obviously I had a really good relationship with the staff there, and Brian Callahan's gone. I don't ever rip coaches. I just don't do that because I know how hard they work. I know, people can say guys are bad coaches, good coaches. I've been around too long. I've been fortunate not only to be with the Titans, but other teams through my career. So I don't rip coaches. But I will say this, just all I do is look at the tape. And I will say that I thought there were many more examples, Lucas, in this game where the route concept, I'll give you an example, by the way, okay? The first play of the third possession probably seemed like a meaningless play. It was a completion to DK for 9 yards. Maybe you don't even remember it because it didn't seem like a big deal. It was the first play of the third possession. But it was a 3-man route concept that basically presented DK on his curl route as a clean, defined throw. So Ward could hit his back foot, and actually there was pressure too, big-time pressure. But because it was so clean, he could hit his back foot and deliver the football. To me, and I've been doing this a long time, I've been around a lot of coaches who were smarter than I am. That's what you're trying to do with a young quarterback. You're trying to make it as clean and defined as possible so that he doesn't get stuck in the pocket. And Ward, by very nature, even when he was in college, and I loved Ward coming out, and I'm certainly not going to backtrack on that. I loved Ward coming out. Ward does have a tendency, though, to sort of get stuck in the pocket and wait. Okay, sometimes it's good. More times in the NFL, it's not. In college, it can be great. So you want to create route concepts and combinations where you're moving defenders, particularly against zone, because there's always going to be stress points, conflict areas, gray areas. You want to do that against zone where he can hit that back foot and know, hey, I've got this throw and I can turn it loose. And I thought there was more of that in this game.
Did you feel like there was also a discernible difference in terms of the tempo? Or maybe is that a product of getting those quick passes out, those easy completions that even if it's less distance to get on the football, that maybe it comes off as though they were trying to go quicker?
Well, Lucas, that's a great point because if you're gaining yards, you're essentially staying on schedule. Now, it doesn't have to be a 20-yard gain. I mean, like that first down play I just mentioned was 9 yards. Now you're 2nd and 1. Now you feel that the playbook's open. You can do whatever you want. There's a feeling that now you're playing football and you're moving with some quickness and tempo. So you don't have to be in no huddle. You don't have to do any of that. But if you can just get positive yards, and that's even the first play of the game when it was boot action, he hit home for 11 yards. Plays like that, that's basically a no-read throw or a one-read throw if you want to talk about it that way. He's throwing the ball to Helm. Okay, and you get 11 yards, and now all of a sudden you feel good as a quarterback. Hey, just completed a ball. We got a first down. It was an easy throw that the three of us probably could have made, but you move on, and now you're in. You just get a sense. Hey, now we're playing some football. Those are the things to me. And again, having many conversations over the years, these are the things you want to do with a young quarterback. You never want a young quarterback to be in a position where all of a sudden it's his third possession and he's 2 for 8, because then he feels like he can't complete a ball. And then the whole game starts to squeeze in on him and close him down.
Greg Cosell of NFL Films is here with us. You can get the install wherever it is that you get your podcast. You can watch the episode, and this will be the episode after the fact if you missed it live with us on YouTube. Subscribe to 104.5 The Zone's YouTube channel. Greg, I want to go back to some of the routine stuff that we've talked about, and without sounding redundant, I think when you bring up the Alec Iamander pitch and catch throw that he just misses, what you're seeing from Cam Ward as far as his feet being married with his eyes and the repetitive nature of that he still has yet to get down, if you could expand on that for the audience.
Yeah, and I think that's something you really got to work on with him. And you can work on it some during the season, but that's an off-season project. You have really got to get his lower body and upper body working together, because you have to remember, so many quarterbacks in college, guys, there's so many quick throws. They're always in the gun. A lot of times the footwork, falls by the wayside, because don't forget, in college too, coaches don't have a lot of time. They're worried about scheming. They're not necessarily spending a ton of time with individual instruction. There's just not enough hours in the day. That's something I think that needs to be continually worked on, so that his lower body and his upper body work in tandem, and he's not throwing the ball off balance. It's great that he can snap it with a very compact delivery. That obviously that's a good thing, not a bad thing. But you cannot be throwing balls off balance or falling away or leaning. And the only time you should be doing any of that is if the defense demands that you do that. But if the defense doesn't demand it with some form of pressure, then you should look really good throwing the ball all the time. I mean, I remember Tom Brady going back after he played 11, 12 years when he had Tom Martinez, his quarterback coach, and I think he's since passed away. But Brady would always go see him after a season just to sort of get back to the fundamentals of throwing a football. People don't talk about that a lot. They think now of quarterbacks, because so many guys of these quarterbacks, particularly in college, come into the league, are better athletes than they've ever been. So we don't think about the mechanics, the repetitive mechanics, but that's absolutely so critical to playing the position. It's being able to marry your footwork, your lower and upper body with your eyes. That's sort of the choreography of the position. You've got to be able to do that in the NFL. And that's something that Cam absolutely needs work on.
Josh McDaniels is a known commodity in the NFL, but what he's doing with Drake May right now, Greg, and what Drake May has also been able to do is he continues his growth and development. I mean, I got to imagine you really enjoyed putting on the tape of him and watching him, not just because he had a franchise record completion percentage, but the degree of difficulty on some of these throws. The one to Stephon Diggs on the opposing sideline on Sunday was one of the best throws I've seen a quarterback make this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously I watched him for 2 years in college. I saw most of his throws a year ago as a rookie, when I thought he actually had a pretty good season behind a really poor offensive line. And this year, and this is not an X and O point, but you guys just saw him play, obviously. He looks very comfortable, doesn't he? He just looks like it's not hard to play the position, and it is hard to play the position. Now, he was helped by, I thought there were some mistakes by the defense. I thought they did a good job with some play action concepts that got people out of position, which, of course, was the idea when you do that. But still, he's a very easy thrower. The ball comes out. He throws the ball really well between the numbers. He has no problem doing that. He's been really good in a couple of the true litmus test areas for quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. He's been terrific on third down. He's been terrific versus blitz. These normally are two situations that young quarterbacks struggle with. So it just comes out so easily. He's such an easy thrower of the football. I couldn't tell you what happened. Maybe they spoke about it. I couldn't tell you what happened on the booty touchdown near the end of the half. I don't know what Snead was, I don't know the answer to that. Did anybody talk about that?
Yeah, I wasn't at Denard Wilson's press conference yesterday. He had an explanation. It wasn't solely Snead's responsibility. I believe he said they were playing quarters coverage, and it was a miscommunication situation. But we were doing the show while Denard Wilson spoke, so I've only seen a couple of highlights on Twitter.
Quarters can be played multiple ways, and I've talked to teams that play a lot of quarters. So as you guys know, coverages, even the same general coverage, quarters, can be played multiple ways and have different guys with different responsibilities. Snead, watching the tape, looked to me like he clearly thought the safety, and I forget who it was now, but that he clearly thought that the safety was going to, be a factor and help him out, because he pretty much, I think it was Diggs. Diggs was the boundary safety on that play. And I think he clearly thought he was going to get help, and Diggs clearly did not give him help, as if Diggs didn't think he was the guy. But there's multiple ways to play post routes when your corner's playing with outside leverage. So obviously there was a miscommunication, and it ended up being a touchdown. And actually, that was a critical point of the game because that was a close game at that point.
Yeah. Apparently, Denard Wilson also said that L'Jarius Sneed got caught looking in the backfield. Greg, we talk about eye discipline and the critical nature of that on defense. Sneed, by the way, is going to miss some extended period of time. He's got a quad injury. Mike McCoy said they're also going to be on a week-to-week basis with Jeffrey Simmons, which, of course, is a huge blow to the Titans' defense.
Yeah, hamstrings usually are not the next week, so I mean, again, I'm certainly not a doctor, but rarely do guys come back the next week from hamstring injuries.
Tough game to miss going to Indianapolis this weekend.
Greg, we were talking about the general state of the AFC and where things are at as we head into Week 8 here. I'm curious, after watching the Patriots at Nissan Stadium Sunday, I know you've seen a lot of Daniel Jones and the Colts this season as well. Who are you more impressed by at this point in the season of the two kind of surprising teams out of the AFC that are surging right now? The Colts or the Patriots? Daniel Jones or Drake May?
Well, I think there's more than just the quarterback. I mean, I think we all focus on Drake May because, he was a high pick and that team didn't seem like a great team. Whereas the Colts actually have a lot of good players. And that is such a well-schemed offense. They are a very fun offense to put on every week. They do a lot of different things. They have a lot of basic pro concepts. They have a lot of concepts that you'd look upon and saying, oh, that's a college concept. They've got a lot of really good players. Jones is right now, as he's playing at the highest level of ball distributor and executor of an offense that you can play at. I mean, it looks easy, and he's making some difficult throws, by the way. And of course, they got the run game. That's the other factor. I mean, there are two stats that are really fascinating here, given that Taylor, I believe, leads the NFL in carries. But on the other hand, Jones has the most first down passing yards in the league. Those are two stats that don't normally go together. And that's really a testament not only to the players, but to what Shane Steichen is doing with how he has put together this offense. See, there's a great example to me of defining reads and throws for a quarterback. They do such a good job of that. You watch their tape and you just feel like, okay, if Jones doesn't have, let's say, a certain particular throw that they want, well, there's another throw that's right there that's within his vision. So he doesn't have to change his eye movements. He doesn't have to look elsewhere. It's right there for him. And they're doing such a good job with that.
The run game is so much fun to watch for them. That left side of the offensive line is just absolutely kicking ass at this point in time.
Run, I mean, did you see the touchdown run this week? That first one, I know it seems like he has 5 of them every week, but the first one, Quentin Nelson, who's obviously a good player, one of the toughest things to do, and one of the things that evaluators look at when they look at college guards, is backside cutoff blocks. When you're out leveraged to start the play and you've got to get in front of the D tackle and cut him off. On that touchdown run by Taylor, that first one, Nelson made a backside cutoff block that's about as good as you could ever see. It was ridiculously good.
The NFL Matchup Show, as I mentioned, you can watch it live. You can set your DVRs. You can also get it on demand on ESPN Plus. No matter how you want to get to your football information before your football weekend gets started, you can do just that with Greg and the crew. Week 8, Greg, what pieces will you be highlighting, or what teams will you be highlighting in your pieces for the Matchup Show this week?
Well, we're doing 6 games this week because we're going to do the Giants-Eagles as a full segment this week, since the Eagles, seemingly, got back to what a lot of people think they are, and that's a really intriguing game. And the Giants obviously are playing much better football with Dart. They had that really tough loss last week. That game's a big one in the show. Cowboys-Broncos has now become a very big game. Cowboys offense has been very, very good. Packers-Steelers, very big game. We'll do the Monday night game. We'll do Commanders at Chiefs because the Chiefs have been playing really good football now. 49ers at Texans. Texans are obviously a big disappointment, but the Niners very quietly are 5-2. And not a lot of people are talking about them. And then the Bears have won 4 in a row. Bears at Ravens. So we're going to do that. So that's basically what the show is going to be. So, we're in the process of kind of putting it together now. And another week. Week 8. Hard to believe it's week 8, guys.
Lamar Jackson apparently did practice today. Robert just got in my ear and told me that, Greg.
Carefully.
Through
happy tears.
He's a tortured Ravens fan at this point.
Right, because I saw he didn't practice Monday, and I was like, "Oh, is he going to be out again?" But hopefully, he'll be good to go. Because fun guy to watch, and the league needs him out there.
Jaden Daniels is out for that Monday night game, Greg. So you'll get Marcus Mariota there.
Yeah, I didn't think that he'd play given what it looked like. I mean, that didn't look like when they said hamstring that he was going to be back. So doesn't it seem, guys, like there's an inordinate amount of hamstring injuries this year? I feel like every week there's like 5 hamstring injuries.
Yeah, and maybe it's just the star level players we're hyper fixating on. Jeffrey Simmons, the latest, Greg. I mean, that was just so frustrating for him, of course, because the Titans offense looked like it had some juice in the first quarter, and then for Jeff to go out in that spot, it didn't. Maybe they still had a chance, but it just didn't really feel like that after Jeffrey Simmons went out.
And boy, has he been playing well this year. I mean, he has been playing at such a high level. It's sometimes it looks like on given plays, it's like a man playing against high school kids. You know, he's just been so good this year.
Which is crazy to say about being at the NFL level and still being able to do that. Greg Cosell of NFL Films at Greg Cosell, Sunday mornings on Fox Sports Radio, and of course the NFL Matchup Show. You can catch him later this week, of course, with 3HL. Thank you for being flexible, buddy. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Buck. You know that. Lucas, take care. It's great to be with you guys.
Thanks, Greg.
Love you, Greg. Say it back. Say it back, Greg.
Let that man get on with his day. The way he laughed at you. The way he laughed at you. Thank you, Greg.
Hey, I still love you, Greg. I didn't even know that one. All of a sudden, I heard a voice. I didn't even know where it was coming from.
That's basically my entire existence with Robert. I understand. He's also the voice in my head, too.
Yeah. The first time.
I still love you, though, Greg. I still love you.
God knows this show will drive you crazy. Let him get on with his day. That's Greg Cosell of NFL Films.
Thanks, man.
See
you guys. Thanks.
See you, Greg.
Love you. That counts. That counts. He definitely said love you.
He laughed in your face.
He definitely said it. He meant it. It's hard for some men to say love you back. Him saying thanks, man, means he loves me back.
I can't even do that. He didn't hear you, bud, when his response was just...
I love Greg's laugh.
You can't break me down. You can't hurt me.
Lamar practice. You can't hurt Robert today.
You can't hurt me.
I'll try. Coming up next. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you if you are struggling with performance. It happens to a lot of guys. As you start to get up there in age, your body changes, and things like erectile dysfunction can happen. That can wreck your confidence, though. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But the good news is there's real help. Since 2014, the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of guys get back to feeling like themselves. These aren't cookie-cutter treatments. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. So stop procrastinating and call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. The best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045. Last call for phone calls. I hate that Kanye's so problematic because, God, I love his music.
Dude, just bangers. Just bangers.
Have you seen his daughter lately? Not to shame an innocent child in the middle of this, but the one that they named Northwest.
No.
Looked like she got a little Kanye erraticism to her as well. Either way. Speaking of erraticism, it's an all-time high BVS week, it feels. You lose to Alabama in a game that was infinitely winnable.
Yeah.
You get the news of Tony Vitello a couple hours before the Bama kickoff, and then fear that the news might break at halftime that Tony Vitello is leaving for San Francisco. You have to wait until Wednesday for the decision to finally be made, because in the 11 o'clock hour, the news was officially confirmed by Jeff Passan and I'm blanking on the college football reporter's name.
Pete Thamel.
Pete Thamel, that Tony Vitello indeed would be taking the San Francisco Giants job. And
told you it happened before the show's over.
The BVS, and you just said because. Your logic was
Lucas called it.
Because.
I don't reveal my sources.
Lucas called it. Lucas knew the whole time. It was hard for him to walk in here today knowing what the news was.
The burden of the knowledge.
And not being able to share it. It takes a very special person to do something like that, Lucas. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. The kind of grit, sacrifice, and perseverance that one could utilize when coming off a bout of food poisoning to step on the field and win a championship in the Mid-State Sports Tuesday Men's 6v6 Division E.
Division E.
Oh, yeah, we're low. We're way down there.
How is that decided?
Division E.
Not A.
Shut up.
Not B.
What happened?
Not C.
What happened in the other
Division
league?
E is
Did you guys
crazy.
get relegated?
We walked off the field and go like, we found our sweet spot, boys. We belong in E.
Did you sign up for A at one point and just get dusted?
No, you don't want to play in A, dude. Those guys are legit.
The people that determine the various, tiers looked at them and said, no. You can't play in the D League. You have to play in the E League.
Feels good. Rudolph to you, dude. Do not play in our reindeer games. go play amongst yourself with the E's. And he points to it. It's a bunch of kids in walkers and wheelchairs. Like, he can't
The E's. The everybody else's.
Oh, wait. I forgot. I'm upset with Lucas.
Why?
Because he lied to us and said he had food poisoning and probably just had gas.
No, because of what he got us, and he did to try to tick me off.
Okay.
I got you a hot dog.
Expand.
Oh.
It was a delightful hot dog, by the way. I was unfamiliar with the I guess it's just called a Mexican hot dog.
Mexican hot dog.
Yeah, it was so
Excellent.
good. But why I'm upset, and probably Kevin back here is upset as well, I just let out the longest and grainiest.
Come on, man.
And when I did it, Kevin said, "Good God."
Come on, man.
It smells terrible in
It's
here.
lunchtime.
It's what you did. You bought us the Mexican dog.
That's fair. Well, so Joseph, you brought up BVS. Joseph is melting down in the side production studio over Tony leaving. Joseph Bonanno, 3HL producer, because he already is emotional over the fact in his mind that Tony's going to go to San Francisco. It's not going to work out. Then he's going to get hired by Arkansas and beat Tennessee for years to come and bring Arkansas to prominence, replace Dave Van Horn. To him, it's done and dusted. That's it. Joseph's bouts of BVS fly to the worst case scenario. And it is amusing, I must say.
Which is funny, because like when Robert gets animated or upset or anything like that, his voice just starts to get higher and higher octaves. Joseph is just squeaky and grating all the time. So it's just like an angry little gnome bitching about whatever happened to Tennessee in that it's like what I would imagine if Scrat spoke actual words in Ice Age to bring back the Scrat reference. I would imagine it would sound like Joseph.
Joseph and I are kindred souls, more similar than we are alike.
You have gas and you sleep eat.
I wasn't aware he was fighting with those issues as well.
There should be a word for that.
What, farting and sleep
eating?
I'm sure there is.
Sleeting?
What's the scientific word for sleep eating?
Like the official diagnosis?
See, I actually met with a dietitian last week, and she was like, all this... Is that not what you're supposed to do when you're fat? You're trying to figure it out. You're supposed to meet with a dietitian.
It's the idea of you walking in there, her looking at you and being like, the hell happened?
There's a word for this. SRED. You have SRED. Sleep-related eating disorder.
Let's just do polls. Not even going to play a good one for you guys.
What are you just laughing at the idea of him meeting with a dietitian?
Him being in a dietitian's office, her cracking him open and being like, whoa. Why is there a whole wheel of Parmesan in there?
When did you eat this?
You happy with yourself? Are both of you happy? It's going to be a fat piece of crap my whole life, and it's you guys' fault because I got shamed for going to try to make my body better.
I'm on your side, Bert.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You bought me a hot dog with mayonnaise on it.
He sabotaged you more than I did.
Mayo on a hot dog, baby. Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. If Tony V leaves Tennessee, which he did, do you want the Vols to keep investing in baseball or put that money in another sport? 57.5% say keep it in baseball.
Interesting.
Legions of former Tennessee and current Tennessee players under Tony V are tweeting their support of Josh Elander, the hitting coach. Tony V assistant. So wouldn't be surprised if they went in-house there, try to keep it going.
The chat is alleging that we're giving Robert SRE.
Biggest SEC game of the weekend, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, Texas A&M, or Vandy, Mizzou. 55% say Vandy, Mizzou.
I mean, locally, for sure.
For sure.
And the audience percentage is going to be skewed by the fact that that's who cares more about Vandy and Nashville having success in college football.
Those are the polls.
Very good. That's the show. Suppose I'll go to Titans.
Thanks for everybody that showed up. Greg Cosell, if you missed it, it will be wherever you listen to your install podcast at. With tomorrow, big guest, Eric Kane, talking about Tony Vitello leaving. Hope everybody has a great night. Primetime tonight at 6 o'clock. See you there. How'd I do that, jackass?